Lipscomb Bison's baseball is on the air. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Doc Allen coming to you live from beautiful Ken Dugan Field at Stephen Lee Marsh Stadium on the campus of Lipscomb University in Nashville, Tennessee, as we get set to bring you college baseball action between the University of Akron and the homestanding Lipscomb Bisons. Today, the second game of this three-game series. The Bisons winning yesterday 9-4 on opening day for both of these teams as they start the 2022 season. The visiting Zips from University of Akron, part of the Mid-American Conference. Again, a record of 0 wins, 1 loss on the season, coming off a campaign in which they finished 15 wins and 36 losses in 2021, 8-32 in MAC play. The Bisons from Atlantic Sun Conference, season record of 1 win, no loss, coming off a season last year with a record of 18-29, 8-15 in the Atlantic Sun Conference play. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for the teams today. First, for the visiting Zips from the University of Akron. Leading off, second baseman, number 3, Kato Hara. Batting second, shortstop, number 7, Cameron Benson. Batting third, center fielder, number 13, Nick Arrivo. Batting fourth, right fielder, number 24, Bryant Schellenbarger. Batting fifth, designated hitter, number 20, Jackson Haas. Batting sixth, third baseman, number 9, Jerry Reinhardt. Batting seventh, the catcher, number 35, Andrew Horvath. Batting eighth, left fielder, number 12, Zach Granger. And batting ninth, first baseman, number 19, Grayson Drosty. Getting the start on the mound today, senior right-hander, number 40, Tade Heidinger. The Zips are coached by Chris Sabo. He's assisted by Corey Mee and pitching coordinator, recruiting coordinator, Connor Fay. And now let's look at the starting lineup for the homestanding Lipscomb Bisons. Leading off, center field, number 19, Maddox Houghton. Batting second, first baseman, number 35, Mason Lundgren. Batting third, third baseman, number 30, Trace Wilhoit. Batting fourth, designated hitter, number 44, Malik Williams. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 13, Rudy Maxwell. Batting sixth, right fielder, number 21, John Shields. Batting seventh, second baseman, number 4, Cam McMillan. Batting eighth, left fielder, number 7, Tiger Borum. And batting ninth, shortstop, number 8, Caleb Ketchup. Drawing the start on the mound for the Bisons today, the sophomore left-hander, number 29, Logan Van Treek. The head coach for the Bisons is Jeff Forehand. He's in his 16th season as head coach. He's assisted by pitching coach Matt Myers, hitting coach Ryan Price, the director of operations Brian Ryman, volunteer assistant Will Hawks, director of player development Adam Weiss, director of baseball analytics Ryan Moretti, and assistant director of baseball operations Madeline Hoswell. The Bisons' head groundskeeper is Colby Rawls, and the head baseball athletic trainer is Clint Woods. Our umpires for today's game, David Mayberry will be behind the plate, Jordan Farrell at first base, and Stephen Hagan at third base. And our weather right now at Dugan Field is sunny skies, not a cloud in the sky, but a chilly one, 46 degrees with a real field temperature of 41 degrees. We've got a north wind that's blowing in at about 10 miles per hour, and that'll keep it moving towards the right center field wall. We did see 4 home runs hit in yesterday's ball game, and so we'd expect the wind to potentially be a factor again as these two teams square off today. So the Bisons are taking the field, and that means that we're going to step aside as we participate in our national anthem. Our national anthem is in the books, and we get ready for baseball action. Earlier today, we had a chance to visit with Lipscomb head coach Jeff Forehand to get his thoughts on today's game.
Coach Forehand, great start to the season yesterday, and part of that great start was first inning, 3 solo home runs, one of which was by Malik Williams. And I thought Malik had a great at-bat. He fouled off 7 or 8 pitches. Talk a little bit about his development as a hitter, particularly battling with 2 strikes.
Yeah, I actually think it was an 11 or 12 pitch at bat, and then ended up with a home run after that. Is something, I think that's it shows where Malik is as a hitter, his advancement of what he's been working on. You look at Malik and you think he's gonna hit a home run every time. Malik can get the 2 strikes, and like you saw him yesterday, foul it off, and then get a pitch and put a good swing on it, and it turns into be a home run because he's a big, strong guy. But no, such a good at bat yesterday.
Logan Van Treek starting on the mound today. Talk a little bit about Logan. He had a great start last season, battled injury a little bit. Excited to see him back out there today.
Absolutely. Been working, since probably the last 2 or 3, 4 weeks of the season last year, working to get himself back, and worked all summer long, put a lot of work in, and it's I'm happy to see him back out there tonight, and looking forward to see what he does, because he's put a lot of work in like they all have, but he's definitely worked his way back in a road to it's been a tough one. So excited to see what he does today.
Good luck today, Coach.
Thanks a lot.
And getting the start on the mound today for the Bisons, sophomore left-hander Logan Van Treek, 6'4", 206-pounder out of Lincoln, Nebraska. It's his 3rd season on campus. He arrived as a freshman in 2020, appeared in 7 games, making 2 starts. In 2021, he started all 10 of his appearances on the mound, had a 3-2 record, a 5.515 ERA, over 43 2/3 innings of work. He had 47 strikeouts in those 43 innings, allowing only 23 walks and holding opponents to a 253 batting average. One of his best outings of the year early in the season last year, February 22nd against Murray State. He notched 11 strikeouts and had just 1 walk. That was his first start of the season. So Coach Forehand would love to see him get off to a similar start this year. Missed some time later in the season last year due to injury, and as Coach Forehand said, has worked his way back. And he'll get the start today against this Zips lineup, which was a good hitting lineup. They actually out-hit the Bisons yesterday 11-8. Part of that was the leadoff hitter, Kato Hara, who had 3 hits on the day yesterday, including a double and 2 RBI. So Hara was hitting in the 9 spot yesterday, and today he's moved up to the leadoff spot, appeared as designated hitter yesterday, and was at second base today. And so we await the first pitch from Van Treek to Hara. Starts him off with a fastball down there for a strike. Hara shows bunt, pulls off, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Defensively for the Bisons, Borum in left, Houghton in center, Shields in right, Will Hoyt at 3rd, Ketchup at shortstop, McMillan at 2nd, Lundgren at 1st, and behind the plate today, Rudy Maxwell. 0-1's a fastball hit foul, and the count goes to 0-2 on Kato Hara. Maxwell played in left field yesterday, gets to start behind the plate today. He's alternating with Chaz Bertolani. Here comes the 0-2, swings and hits a foul into the dugout. Just spoil that fastball. And we saw this from Hara yesterday. Really good hitter who knows the strike zone and is able to control the bat and work those counts. So he faces a no-ball 2-strike count here against Logan Van Treek as we're underway. Top half of the first inning, Akron and Lipscomb, and he swings to a high fastball, strike 3. So Hara is retired. That'll bring up Cam Benson. He also had a terrific day yesterday. He was 2 hits and 5 trips, but one of those hits was a home run, traveled over the fence, and gave him 2 RBIs on the day. So true freshman Cam Benson out of Farmington Hills, Michigan. And he looks at a pitch low and inside, ball 1. Benson playing at shortstop today. And again, true freshman coming in and playing at shortstop, a youngster that Coach Sabo and the staff are obviously high on. That's a breaking ball that'll catch the corner, and even the count at a ball and a strike. So Van Treek, a traditional 3-pitch guy, fastball, breaking ball, and a changeup. And he's a guy who will pitch to both sides of the plate when he's in the zone, very effective. There's that breaking ball again on the outside corner, strike 2. Likes to work quickly, as most of these Bison pitchers do. And certainly the defense will appreciate that behind him. Here's the 1-2, and that's a hit off the end of the bat towards shortstop. Ketchup is ranging over, and he'll glove it, and it's the 2nd out of the inning. So 2 down now for center fielder Nick Arrivo. Arrivo went 0 for 5 yesterday at the plate, so he's still looking for his first base hit on the season. And Van Treek starts him with a fastball that'll stay inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Revo's a 5th-year senior. Previously played at Akron College. Also played at IMG Academy, where Coach Sabo previously coached. Here's the 1-0. That's going to stay downstairs. It'll be 2 balls and no strikes on Nick Revo. I do believe it's his first year with the program. He doesn't have any statistics on for last year. That's hit in the air to center field. Going back is Houghton. Still going back. Gets to the warning track. Looks up and gloves it for the 3rd out of the inning. So Revo hit it well. But he's retired, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Logan Van Treek to start the top of the 1st. Nothing doing for the Zips. We'll head to the bottom half of the 1st inning with no score. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the bottom half of the 1st inning. No score between Akron and Lipscomb. And the Bisons will send Houghton, Lundgren, and Trace Wilhoit to the mound to face the right-hander Tade Heidinger. Heidinger, a 6'2", 225-pound senior. His home is Bayfield, Colorado. He's previously played at Fullerton College. He spent 2 seasons at Fullerton as a pitcher. In 2019, 74 2/3 innings. He struck out 68 and walked 34. He was a redshirt junior in 2020. Started 4 games for the Zips, pitching 19 1/3 innings and getting a victory. Apparently did not pitch last season, and so he's back now for a senior year, and he'll start with Maddox Houghton at the top of the order for the Bisons. Houghton led off yesterday's game with a solo home run over the right field wall, so a great start to his season. And he takes high for a ball. Maddox ended up the day 1 for 3, scoring a couple runs, had that home run in the RBI. Back in the leadoff spot. He was on base several times early in the game yesterday, doing exactly what you want your leadoff guy to do, get on base and disrupt things. Here comes the 1-0, and that's swung on and hit in the air to left field, and Granger is going to range a couple steps to his left and haul it in for the out. So Houghton will be retired on 2 pitches, and that'll bring up Mason Lundgren. Lundgren playing at first base today. He was the designated hitter yesterday. He did have 1 hit in 3 trips, but had a couple RBIs on yesterday's game. Also was on base with a couple of walks, so he was on base 3 times yesterday for Coach Forehand. Left-handed swinger stands in there to face Tade Heidinger. And he swings through a fastball on the outside part of the plate. No balls and 1 strike. Again, the Bisons jumped out early in yesterday's game, scoring 3 in the 1st inning, 1 in the 2nd, and 4 in the 3rd. So they jumped out to an 8-0 lead. The teams traded a few runs later in the game, but the Bisons held on for a 9-4 win. Here comes the 0-1. That's fouled straight back. And Heidinger is going to be ahead of Lundgren. No balls and 2 strikes. As we mentioned, the Zips actually out-hit the Bisons yesterday, 11 hits to 8. But the Bisons took advantage. A total of 7 walks and several wild pitches from the Zips pitching staff. And that, combined with those 3 home runs, take them out to a 9-4 win. And he swings through an outside pitch and is retired for the second out of the inning. Lundgren down on strikes. So that'll bring up Trace Wilhoit. Wilhoit still looking for his first hit on the season. He was 0 for 4 yesterday. He's a freshman, true freshman out of Georgetown, Kentucky. And he'll stand in, slightly open stance from the right-hand side. 2 outs, base is empty. Looks at an off-speed pitch across the outside corner for a strike, nothing in 1. So Heidinger doing a good job throwing strikes, getting ahead in the count. That was something the Zips struggled with yesterday, and that was part of the reason that the Bisons were able to get off to that fast start. I'm sure that's a point of emphasis for Coach Sabo and his staff today. Here comes the 0-1. He swings and hits it high in the air, fouled straight back, and that's going to make the seats. And it'll run the count to 0-2 on Trace Wilhoit. Got another nice crowd on hand today. Big crowd on hand yesterday for opening day, despite a chilly day at the ballpark with temperatures down in the 30s. We had a nice opening day crowd, and another great crowd today. If you're in the Nashville area, we invite you to come on out and take in this ball game today between these 2 clubs. Still got a lot of good seats available, and a nice crowd here from the University of Akron following their team. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's a breaking ball that stays in the outside part. The count will be a ball and 2 strikes on Wilhoit. Malik Williams waits on deck if the Bisons are able to extend the inning here. We'll give you the defensive alignment in a moment if we have another play after this pitch. Here comes the 1-2, and that's hit back up the middle. Shortstop Benson gloves it. Going to field and throw, and 1-2-3 inning for Tate Heidinger is nothing doing for the Bisons in the bottom half of the first. We've played 1 complete. Your score: Akron 0, Lipscomb 0. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the top half of the second inning. No score between Akron and Lipscomb. And the Zips are due to send up 4, 5, and 6. Schellenbarger, Haas, and Reinhardt to face Logan Van Treek as we start the second inning. We mentioned the Zips part of the Mid-American Conference. There are 12 schools in that conference. In the East Division with Akron is Bowling Green State University out of Ohio, University of Buffalo, Kent State, Miami of Ohio, and Ohio University. And we'll give you the West in a moment. Pitch from Van Treek swings through a fastball for strike 1. On the west side of the Mid-American Conference is Ball State, Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan, Northern Illinois, University of Toledo, and Western Michigan. And the 0-1 is going to be a base hit into left field. Nice piece of hitting there by Schellenbarger, who will get his first hit of the season. He had gone 0 for 4 in yesterday's game, but a good hitter, hit .270 during the 2021 campaign. So you knew it was a matter of time before that young man got untracked. And he'll have the first Zips hit of the day. And he'll bring up Jackson Haas, who had himself quite a day yesterday. 3 for 3 at the plate. Also hit by a pitch, so he was on base all day long. He was doing the catching yesterday, did a very nice job behind the plate. He's doing the designated hitting today to keep that hot bat in the lineup. And he looks at a curveball from Van Treek that'll stay down low, ball 1. Haas, a senior out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Previously was at Northern Kentucky. And throw's going to go to first base. Another new player on the roster this year for Coach Sabo and the Zips. He swings and fouls this one out of play to the right side. That'll even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike on Jackson Haas. So we mentioned Coach Chris Sabo, 3rd year as the skipper for the Zips. 15-36 on last year's season, 8-32 in the Mid-America Conference, but a lot of new faces and a lot of excitement around this club for this season. Here comes the 1-1. That's a fastball that'll get the inside corner, and a ball and 2 strikes on Jackson Haas. Again, we're in the top of the 2nd inning. No score between Akron and Lipscomb. Game 2 of a 3-game series between these two teams to open the 2022 season. The 1-2 is a breaking ball that's going to stay low in the dirt. And Maxwell blocks that up, and it'll be 2-2 on Jackson Haas with Reinhardt waiting on deck. Defensively, the Bisons at double play depth and traditional position up the middle. Outfield straightaway and normal depth. Throw goes to first. We mentioned the wind blowing out toward right center field, about 10 miles per hour. A pretty strong northerly wind that we'll keep an eye on throughout the day. As we said, 4 home runs left the yard yesterday, but none of them were really wind aided. They were all hit solidly, and that's a swing and a miss. And Haas is finally retired. The Bisons could not get him retired yesterday, but Van Treek punches him out for the first out of the inning. So that'll bring up Jerry Reinhardt. Reinhardt back at 3rd base today, the senior. He had 1 hit in 5 trips to the plate yesterday. He's a 5th-year senior out of Batavia, New York, previously at Lackawanna College. And they will chase Schellenbarger back again to first base. Schellenbarger last year was 2 for 4 on steals, so doesn't run a lot. Snap throw to first, ball is outside, and he gets back easily. So 1 ball and no strikes on Reinhardt, batting with 1 out, and Schellenbarger running at first. Van Treek works. Off-speed pitch that he checked his swing, but he swung through, so a ball and a strike. And an effective off-speed pitch that he kept on the outside part of the plate there, and Reinhardt could not hold up. So count evens at a ball and a strike. Will Hoyt pulled around deep at 3rd base. Normal depth up the middle for Ketchup and McMillan. Here comes the 1-1, just off the outside corner. Good spot, but he didn't get the call. 2 balls and 1 strike on Jerry Reinhardt. 5 seniors in the lineup for the Zips today, and Reinhardt's one of those. He swings through a fastball almost in the same spot, but didn't catch up to that one, and it's 2-2. So 5 seniors starting for Coach Sabo. A couple of juniors and a couple of freshmen out there. A number of new faces as we're seeing all around college baseball with the transfer portal activity. Here comes the 2-2, and he swings and misses. And Van Treek has his 3rd strikeout of the day as he puts Reinhardt down for the 2nd out of the inning. That'll bring up Andrew Horvath. We did not see Horvath in action yesterday as he's doing the catching today. Haas did the catching yesterday. He's a true freshman out of Aurora, Ohio, 6'1", 190-pounder. So this should be his first college at-bat that we're about to watch. He looks at a breaking ball down in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes. Again, Horvath, one of 2 freshmen in the lineup today. Hara, the leadoff batter, is the other. Or correction, Benson, the shortstop, rather, is the other. The 1-0 is an off-speed pitch that he swings through, and leaving the count at a ball and a strike. Bisons with only 1 true freshman starting, Trace Wilhoit. Got 4 seniors out in the lineup for Coach Forehand today, and that's an off-speed pitch that's going to get a called strike on the outside corner. So a ball and 2 strikes as Van Treek tries to work around the leadoff base hit from Schellenbarger. And he's got Horvath down in a 1 ball, 2 strike count. Fairly conservative lead for Schellenbarger at first base with the left-hander Van Treek looking at him. He's thrown over there a couple times. Here's the 1-2, fastball that he fouls back, staying alive. Again, Logan Van Treek out of Lincoln, Nebraska, Lincoln Southeast High School. An outstanding student and athlete here at Lipscomb University and a power arm for the Bisons, and he's about to bring a 1-2 pitch in. Again, foul back to the screen, a ball and 2 strikes. I believe I saw his parents, Larry and Jamie, here earlier today. His father played Division III baseball, and his mother played NAIA volleyball. So he's a young man that comes from a lineage of college athletes. Coach Forehand and the staff, again, excited to get him back out there after injury last year. He'll throw loosely over to first. Just to remind Schellenberger that he hasn't forgotten about him over there. But we've got a 1-ball, 2-strike count on Andrew Horvath. Granger waits on deck if the inning is able to be extended. Here comes the 1-2. Breaking ball for call, strike 3. So Van Treek with 3 strikeouts in the inning to work around the leadoff runner. The Zips strand 1. And we've played an inning and a half with no score. You're watching Lipscomb Bison's Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the bottom half of the second inning. No score between Akron and Lipscomb. 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Bisons. Malik Williams, Rudy Maxwell, and John Shields to face the right-hander Tade Heidinger, who worked a 1-2-3 first inning with a strikeout. And he'll start with Malik Williams, who had an outstanding day yesterday. 2 hits and 5 trips, including a solo home run in the first inning, counting for an RBI. And as we referenced in our pregame show, if you saw that, Malik had an incredible at-bat. He wound up with a 11 or 12 pitch at-bat. At one point, he fouled off about 8 straight pitches and then hit a 2-strike pitch over the center field wall for his first home run of the season. So great start yesterday to the season for Williams, and he looks at a ball high from Heidinger. Defensively for the Zips, Granger's in left, Arrivo in center, Schellenberger in right, Reinhardt at third, Benson at short, Hara at second, Drosty at first, and Horvath behind the plate. And that's fouled out of play to the right side, a ball and a strike. Looked like a fastball on the outside corner. We mentioned with Coach Forehand, really the development of Williams in his 3 seasons on campus came in as pretty much a purely pull power hitter, and now really has begun to use all sides of the field. And I always say that when Malik's going well, he's using the right side of the field. And the home run yesterday was to dead center field. He swings through a fastball there, and he's down in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. So he fell behind 2 strikes yesterday in that at bat, and then just kept fouling and kept fouling and kept fouling pitches off before hitting that fastball over the center field wall. So see what he can do with 2 strikes here as Heidinger looks to stay in command. A 1-2. Swung on and hit in the air to the right side. Given chase is Drosty, also Schellenberger. They're both closing in, but nobody's going to be able to get there. Second baseman Hara over there as well, as that ball landed in that Bermuda Triangle out there outside right field where almost nobody can get there. Long run for all 3 of those youngsters who gave it a fine effort. The count will stay 1 ball and 2 strikes to Malik Williams. We mentioned Coach Chris Sabo, obviously a familiar name to those of you who follow baseball. He's a former Cincinnati Reds third baseman. He played collegiately at the University of Michigan, played in the College World Series, was an All-American playing at Michigan from 1981 to 1983, and was a second-round draft pick of the Reds. It's a fastball high, 2-2 on Williams. Sabo went on to Be the National League Rookie of the Year in 1988 after working his way through the Reds minor league system. And he was a 3-time National League All-Star and appeared in the 1990 World Series, leading the team in home runs during that World Series. Here's the 2-2. Swung on and hammered foul. It's a breaking ball that stayed high and inside, and Williams drives that one out in the parking lot. Sabo still holds a World Series record, 9 assists for a third baseman in a game. So that's a record that he owns currently, and he was inducted in the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame back in 2010. Went into coaching with the Reds and assisted a couple of college programs before becoming the head coach at Akron. He hits the 2-strike pitch up the middle. The shortstop Benson plays it off the glove. He's not going to have a play, so tough play as he was ranging to his left. We'll see how they score that, but that's going to get Malik Williams on board with nobody out. Ball hit right off the end of the bat. Looked like he fooled him a bit on that pitch. Haven't seen an official score come out on that yet. Looks like they are going to rule that an error. So a tough chance there, but he's going to reach on an error, and that'll bring up Rudy Maxwell. Maxwell's got to start in left field yesterday, and again, in his very first at-bat as a Bison, he hit a solo home run over the right center field wall. And he swings through an off-speed pitch there. No balls and 1 strike. He ended up the day 2 for 5, 2 runs scored, a home run and an RBI. So a terrific debut for this 6'4", 225-pound graduate student, native of Nashville. He's transferred in from Duke University after graduating there in this December, and he came to play his last season here at Lipscomb. The 0-1. He's swung on and hit through the gap into left field. That's going to be a base hit, and Williams will advance to second. So Maxwell just sat back on that breaking pitch and drove it out into left field. And the Bisons have their first hit of the day. So 2 on, no out for John Shields. Shields getting his first at-bat of the season. He didn't play in yesterday's game. He's out in right field today. He's another senior out of Tampa, Florida. Formerly played at the State College of Florida. Shields did not play last season because he was injured, suffered an injury in preseason, was not able to suit up for the 2021 campaign. So good to see him back out there swinging the bat. We'll see if Coach Forehand elects to let him swing. He appears to be swinging, and he takes a pitch high for 1 ball and no strike. So the third and first baseman are both in toward the cutouts, thinking a bunt could be in order here. Second baseman Hara pulled over a little into the hole, and Benson quite far up the middle. So big hole on the left side if he could get the ball toward that way. That one's down in the dirt. Nice stop by Horvath. And it'll be 2 balls and no strikes on John Shields. Williams, your runner at second. Maxwell, your runner at first. I think we generously say average speed on the bases for those two. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. That one's going to miss outside as well. So after showing terrific control through the first 5 hitters, Heidinger's being very careful here with Shields. And he's fallen behind 3-0. You'd have to think John likely to take a pitch here. Cam McMillan waits on deck. The 3-1 is also low and inside. So a 4-pitch walk to Shields. And that will load the bases and bring up Cam McMillan. McMillan getting his first at-bat for the Bisons. Redshirt junior, 6'5", 225-pound youngster out of Kansas City, Missouri. He's played at a couple of other schools prior to coming here. We'll tell you about his journey here in just a moment. But just to reset, no score, bottom of the second inning, and nobody out and bases loaded for the Bisons as they work against Tade Heidinger here. And he hits that in the air towards right field. Schellenberger's going to take a few steps back, but that's going to be deep enough to score the run. Williams tags from third. The throw will go towards third, and they've got hung up here. Shields came far off the bag, and they threw behind him. The throw was going towards third, so Malik Williams will score the run. Maxwell initially tagged and bluffed, did not run. Shields came far off the bag, had to turn around and retreat. And so McMillan will be credited with a sacrifice fly, and he'll get the RBI and get the Bisons on the board. But a bit of a base running error there as Shields is doubled off at first base. Throw came in and was cut off by the shortstop Benson, who alertly threw back towards first base to get him out for the second out of the inning. So Tiger Bourne will bat now with a runner at third base and 2 outs. Borum was hitless in yesterday's game, but did have a couple of sacrifice flies, and that gave him 2 RBIs, and he looks at a breaking ball low. It'll be 1 ball and no strikes. And again, Maxwell, now your runner at third. Once he saw that throw being cut and thrown back to first, he alertly took third base. So alert base running by Maxwell there to get over to third base. Again, the throw had no chance to get Williams at the plate, and so it went to third instead, and Maxwell alertly held up. That's a fastball that's going to stay high, and so it's 2 balls, no strikes. So credit McMillan with an RBI in his first at-bat as a Bison. And Tiger Borum will stand in there now. 2 outs, runner at third base. Lipscomb leading 1-0. And here's the 2-0 from Heidinger. Swung on and hit on the ground to the right side. Hora goes over into shallow right field, throws on to first, and he will record the 3rd out of the inning. So the Bison's retired, but they get on the board. They've got 1 run on 1 hit. There was 1 error, and 1 man left on base. So we've played 2 full innings from Nashville. Your score, Lipscomb 1, Akron 0. You're watching Lipscomb Bison's baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the top half of the 3rd inning. Lipscomb leading Akron 1-0. Logan Van Treek back out to start his 3rd inning for work. He's thrown 2 innings, given up just 1 hit. No walks and 4 strikeouts. And he'll face 8, 9, and 1 for the Zips, Granger, Drosty, and Hara. One thing we failed to mention earlier, the Bisons did an excellent job avoiding the walk yesterday. 3 pitchers, Cantola, Thompson, and Legier, worked a total of 9 innings, didn't surrender a walk all day, and had 11 strikeouts. So you know the pitching coach, Matt Myers, has to be happy with that performance, avoiding those freebies. He shows bunt, lays it down. Van Treek's coming off the mound. He's going to glove it, turn, throw to first, and he's throwing it away. That's going to get down to the right field corner. Shields comes over and fields it, throws to second, and not in time. And so Granger will be on with what I think will be ruled an error. It's a great bunt. It would have taken a terrific play to get him out as he deadened that ball down the third baseline. Third baseman Will Hoyt was playing back. Really had no chance there. Van Treek got off the mound in good shape. Came towards it and then picked it up and threw wildly, and that's going to advance Granger all the way to second base. And looks like they're going to give him a base hit on that. So decided that that was an excellent bunt and would have been a tough chance. So Granger is on at second. He's got the second hit of the day for the Zips, and that'll bring to the plate Grayson Drosty. Drosty did not play in yesterday's game. He fouls that one off, so it's no balls and 1 strike. Granger running at second, nobody out. Top of the 3rd inning, Lipscomb leading Akron 1-0. He again shows bunt. And this time he puts it down the first base line, and it's going to go foul again. So 2 chances to get the bunt down. And Drosty has not been able to do so to this point. He is a junior out of Fishers, Indiana. Previously played at Hamilton Southeastern High School there. So he's down in the hole, no balls, 2 strikes. We'll see if they take the bunt off here with the runner at second. He is swinging away, and he swings through for strike 3. So good job by Van Treek to come back and get a big strikeout there after a couple of foul balls on a bunt attempt. That's the 5th strikeout already for Van Treek, and that'll bring the top of the order in Cato Hara back up. He was one of those strikeout victims back in the 1st inning after having a 3-for-3 day yesterday. So Hara bats now with 1 out, and Granger your runner at second base. Lipscomb leading Akron 1-0, top of the 3rd inning. Breaking ball stays down low. Maxwell blocks it up, and it's a ball and no strikes. That one's going to miss outside, and it's 2 balls and no strikes now on Hara. Hara out of Houston, Texas. 5'5", 155 pounds. Played in 2020 for the Zips during the COVID season. Did not play last year. May have been injured. He swings through that one as a foul. 2 balls and 1 strike. So Hara is now listed as a junior, but his 3rd season on campus. He again previously played at IMG Academy in high school. And that one's going to miss outside, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike now to Cato Hara. Cameron Benson waits on deck. Granger your runner at second. He's got a fairly modest lead. Catch up the shortstop is shading behind him and keeping him honest out there. McMillan, the second baseman, shifted around to the right side, and that's going to be down in the dirt, and that'll be a ball. So Hara is aboard with the first walk of the day surrendered by Logan Van Treek. That'll put runners at first and second and bring up Cameron Benson. Again, Benson with a home run in yesterday's game, 2 out of 5. In the 1st inning today, popped out to the shortstop, Caleb Ketchup. And so he bats now with 1 out and 2 on as the Zips threaten to get going here. Again, slow start offensively yesterday for Akron. They tallied 1 in the 4th. 1 in the 6th, and then picked up a couple of runs on Benson's home run in the 9th inning yesterday. And so they seem to get better as the day went on. They put 11 hits on the board, and there's a base hit into right field. Granger's going to round third. He's being waved in. The throw's going to head and be cut off, and runners are going to be at the corners, and Akron has tied the ball game. So RBI base hit for Cameron Benson. Hara will advance around to third base. And the Zips have tied this baseball game with 2 hits in the inning now. And that's going to bring Coach Matt Myers out to the mound to chat with his sophomore left-hander Logan Van Treek. So again, to recap this inning, it started out with a bunt from Granger that was fielded and thrown wildly. The error did allow him to advance to second base. Grayson Drosty struck out, and then a base hit, or correction, a walk given to Cato Hara, and with men on first and second, Cameron Benson, good piece of hitting, grinding that ball into right field. He drives in the run. So there's 2 base hits in the inning. Runners still at the corners, and 1 out. And we have a tie ball game, 1-1, Lipscomb and Akron. Bringing to the plate will be Nick Arrivo, center fielder, and he flew out to center field in his first trip to the plate today. Arrivo's a grad student. His hometown is Ann Arbor, Michigan. Previously played at Akron College. Don't see any stats on him in the 2021 season, so I believe he's new to the program this year, but he's got a chance to do some damage here as the Zips are threatening to have a big inning. First and third, 1 out. Van Treek's going to throw that one outside, and it will be ball 1. Got a little bit of activity stirring down in the Bison's bullpen. Looks like Chandler Giles throwing down there, right-hander. Van Treek would love to get a ground ball and get himself out of the inning here as the Bisons are double play depth up the middle. Again, Benson your runner at first, Hara your runner at third. Hara showed good speed in yesterday's game. Bisons will play back and concede the run, try to get some outs here. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Arrivo. And he swings and taps that one foul, and it'll be a ball and a strike. So Van Treek was cruising along. Got his 5th strikeout as the second batter of this inning, and then surrendered a walk and a base hit. Add that to the bunt base hit earlier, and the Zips have a rally going here. Here comes the 1-1. He swings and fouls that one out of play, and it'll be a ball and 2 strikes. Good fastball on the outside part of the plate. We don't have a radar gun operational today that we can see, but typically Van Treek's going to work in the low 90s, 91 to 93 with that fastball. And also the good breaking ball and change that we mentioned earlier. So he's got Arrivo down 1 ball, 2 strikes. Move will go to first again. And again, we don't have any stats on Benson from last year, so we don't know about his running skills, but he's in the shortstop position. Good looking athlete. You got to figure that he's got a chance to have some wheels. He is running, and the ball's fouled out of play. And that'll keep the count at a ball and 2 strikes. So showed a good jump there. And Arrivo had to defend the plate and just spoil that one to foul it off to stay alive at a ball and 2 strikes. Top of the 3rd inning, Akron and Lipscomb tied at 1, and we've got a 1-2 pitch due to Arrivo. Checked his swing. Did he go? They've not appealed, and apparently he did not. It was a good breaking ball, but it stayed just off the plate. So nice pitch there, well executed, but 2 balls, 2 strikes, and a good bat discipline showed by Arrivo to leave off of that. And Van Treek is working quickly here. Here comes the 2-2. Instead, he'll go to first. Chase Benson back one more time. Outfield straight away, deep in left field with Borum. Again, infield double play depth. They'd love to get a ground ball, have a chance to get out of this inning and limit the damage. But here comes the 2-2 from Van Treek. Swung on and hit foul. Off out of play to the right side. Looked like a fastball again on the outside part of the plate. Arrivo just spoiled that one and fought it off to stay alive. Even though he was hitless yesterday, Arrivo did not strike out, so he's a tough out at the plate. Moves the strike zone well and again defends it, hitting in that 3 spot for Coach Sabo and the Akron Zips. Here comes the 2-2. Breaking ball got him, call strike 3. Great pitch there from Van Treek, that off-speed pitch that we've seen earlier. He used that effectively in the bottom of the 2nd inning to get the 3rd out of the inning. And so now 2 away with 2 on, and that'll bring up Brian Schellenberger. Schellenberger singled and was stranded back in the 2nd inning, and he'll bat now with 2 outs and 2 on. The first base hit of the season for Schellenberger. Again, a 6th-year player out of Mount Vernon, Ohio. 6'2", 230-pound youngster, solidly built. Batted .270 last year. As we mentioned, here comes the pitch, and it's an off-speed pitch that he fouls out of play. And the count will be 0-1. Same 2 teams tomorrow, 1 p.m. first pitch on Sunday. Expecting warmer weather tomorrow. So, again, if you're in the Nashville area, we'd love to see you come out to the ballpark and have a chance to catch some great college baseball action opening weekend. Fastball just downstairs. It will be a ball and a strike to Schellenberger. Again, Harr running at 3rd. Benson, your runner at first. 2 outs, 2 on. Top of the 3rd. 1 run already home this inning. Here comes the 1-1. That one's down in the dirt. Nice job by Maxwell to keep that one in front of him. And the count will be 2 balls and 1 strike to Schellenberger. Jackson Haas waits on deck, and the Bisons would love to see him lead off the next inning. He was a real thorn in their side yesterday with 3 hits on the day. Here comes the 2-1. Instead, they'll go back to first. Soft move over there just to chase Benson back. Again, Mason Lundgren holding him on at first and trying to get off and cover that hole. McMillan shifted over a bit towards right. Fastball high on tight on his hands. And he swung through it 2-2. So Van Treek got a chance to get out of the inning here if he can retire Schellenberger. He's got him in a 2-2 count. They're 2 outs and 2 on. Top of the 3rd. Akron and Lipscomb tied at 1 as the Zips have pushed across a run this inning courtesy of a couple base hits and a walk. Schellenberger's going to call time. One of the things we haven't emphasized is that pitch clock is in account this year for runners when they're on base, 20 seconds between pitches, and the batter is not automatically given time if the umpire doesn't judge that it's necessary. And the ball's outside, the throw's going to go to second. He's going to be safe, and Hara is going to take that to come and advance home for the 2nd run of the game. So give a stolen base to Benson, and it's the 2nd run of the game, or 2nd run of the inning rather, and the 2nd run of the game as well. And Akron has taken a 2-1 lead here in the 3rd inning. And the count is now full on Schellenbarger. So, again, Benson, we knew it showed that good speed. He took off. The Bisons elected to throw to second. Hara didn't hesitate. He came home. The throw was over to the third base side, not in time. That's the second walk of the inning there for Van Treek as Schellenbarger's going to reach. So again, there'll be 2 on 2 out, and this will be Jackson Haas. He was a strikeout victim back in the second inning. As we mentioned, 3 for 3 yesterday. Was hit by a pitch, so he was on base 4 times yesterday and had some very quality at-bats for Coach Sabo and the Akron Zips. So runners first and second, 2 outs, and that one's going to hit him. So Van Treek laboring a bit here. 2 walks and a hit by pitch in this inning, and that's going to load the bases for Akron. So the big inning continues. We mentioned earlier that Giles is throwing in the bullpen. Van Treek up to 52 pitches on the day, and we mentioned yesterday's broadcast we expect all of the pitchers to be on a bit of a pitch count early in the season here. Haven't had a chance to work deep yet. Colder weather, so we expect most of the pitchers to stay in a pitch count probably in the 50-60 range, and that's going to miss outside for ball 1. Jerry Reinhardt is the batter. He was a strikeout victim in the last inning as well. So yesterday we saw most of those pitchers coming out of the game when they got around that 50 to 60 pitch mark, so I'd expect this is probably Van Treek's last inning, no matter what the outcome, but he'd love to get an out here. He's got a 1-0 count, and that's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner and be a ball and a strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike on Jerry Reinhardt. Benson, your runner at third. Schellenbarger running at second. Haas running at first. The bases are full of Zips. And there are 2 outs here in the top half of the third inning. That's inside. Almost hit him. So Van Treek showed terrific command in the first couple of innings, but he struggled this inning. He had no walks entering this inning, but in this walk he's walked 2. In this inning, rather, he's walked 2 and hit 1. And he's got a 2 ball, 1 strike count on Reinhardt. You'd have to think this is his guy to get here. Again, Giles working in the bullpen, getting ready. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. That's going to stay outside and high. 3-1. So Van Treek's got to come at Reinhardt here. He can sit back and look for a pitch that he can drive. Again, bases loaded. 2 outs. Akron already with 2 runs home this inning, and they've taken a 2-1 lead. And here comes the 3-1. Check swing. He did go. Yes, he did. Home plate umpire David Mayberry says he did. That looked like a breaking ball that Van Treek was able to flip in there. So that'll make the count full. So 3 balls, 2 strikes. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Top of the third inning. And Van Treek set to pitch to Reinhardt. Swings through it. Strike 3. So Van Treek limits the damage with a swinging strikeout of Reinhardt. It's actually his 3rd strikeout of the inning. He wound up striking out the side, but around that, the Zips were able to push across 2 runs on 2 hits. There was an error in the inning, and they left 3 on base. And so we've got a brand new score after 2.5. Your score is Akron 2 and Lipscomb 1. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the bottom half of the third inning. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 error for the Akron Zips. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error for the Lipscomb Bisons. And it'll be 9-1-2 due up for the Bisons. Ketchup, Houghton, and Lundgren to face the right-hander Tade Heidinger. Heidinger's surrendered 1 hit and 1 run, is 1 walk and 1 strikeout, and 26 pitches through 2 innings. So he's been very efficient so far. And he'll start off with Caleb Ketchup, the sophomore transfer from University of Georgia, and at shortstop today. Still looking for his first Bison's hit. He was 0 for 2 yesterday. Was on base a couple times with a couple of walks. Did score a run. And he shows bunt. Good bunt out in front of the plate. It's going to be fielded by Heidinger. He's going to throw to first, and safe is the call from first base umpire Jordan Farrell. So excellent play there by Horvath. He bounced out, got that. I think he was the only one that had a play, but Ketchup again with good speed. And that'll be a base hit on the bunt single to start things off for the Bisons. It'll be their second hit on the day, and we'll turn over to the top of the order, and Maddox Houghton. Houghton flew out to left fielder Granger for his first at-bat of the day. So again, Ketchup with good speed at first base. We'll see how Coach Forehand elects to play it. Houghton certainly an excellent bunter, can handle the bat as well. The third baseman Reinhardt's a step or two inside the bag at third. And he takes a fastball high, 1 ball, no strikes. Sacrifice bunts last year for Maddox Houghton, but we know that he can handle the bat. We've seen him do that for a number of years here. And what I would describe as a very casual toss to first by Heidinger. I do not think that was his A move, as he causes Ketchup to get his uniform dirty, sliding back into first. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Bunt again out in front of the plate. It's going to be fielded by Heidinger. The only place to first base. He makes the play, and so sacrifice bunt from Houghton does exactly what you would want there for the first out of the inning, and gets Ketchup down to second base in scoring position. And that'll bring up Mason Lundgren. Lundgren was a strikeout victim in his first at bat. Again, 1 hit and 3 trips yesterday at a couple RBIs for the sophomore first baseman out of Salina, Kansas, and Neosho County Community College. Left-handed swinger here, and he'll face Heidinger with 1 out and a man in scoring position at second base, and Caleb Ketchup, and shortstop Benson is behind him trying to keep him honest there. He looks at an off-speed pitch outside for ball 1. So with the left-handed swinging Lundgren up there, the second baseman Hara's playing in fairly standard position. Drosty, the first baseman, down the line, and the shortstop Benson has swung over just a couple of steps to the side of the bag, but giving some false steps there to keep Ketchup close as Lundgren swings through a pitch there, and it'll be 1 ball and 1 strike. Outfield straight away and deep. Again, wind sort of blowing out towards right center field here. Akron leading Lipscomb 2-1. We're playing in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Again, a lot of flashing going on with Benson at the runner at second. That's down in the dirt, blocked by Horvath. Lundgren did not offer at it, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Ketchup with good speed at second. Again, has to respect that Benson is behind him there, but he's challenging him a little bit, and that's an off-speed pitch that will stay outside, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike on Mason Lundgren. Lundgren didn't play last year. In 2020, he was at Neosho County Community College. Did have 2 home runs and 12 RBIs and a .380 batting average for the season in 17 games. So young man getting some of his first activity here on the college level, first activity at the D1 level. Here's the 3-1, swung on and hit right back up the middle. That's a base hit into center field. Arrivo's coming on. They're going to wave Ketchup, and here comes the throw. It'll be cut off, and Lipscomb's tied the game at 2-2. RBI base hit from Mason Lundgren. He'll get his second base hit on the season and his 3rd RBI, and the Bisons have tied it up 2-2. So a good piece of hitting there from Lundgren as he drives home Ketchup from second, and the sacrifice bunt to get him to second turns out to be an important play. That'll bring up Trace Wilhoit, the 3rd baseman. He grounded out back in the 1st inning. Wilhoit still looking for his first hit on the season, but this is a young man that Coach Forehand and the staff are very high on. He swung the bat well throughout the fall and the spring campaign, and so they think it's a matter of time before he will do some damage from the plate. And he swings and fouls that one back as he hits a fastball back for strike one. We mentioned earlier the Bison's part of the Atlantic Sun Conference. All of the Atlantic Sun Conference teams have been in action already in opening weekend, so we'll give you a recap on how everyone did yesterday as we move through this inning here. First, we'll await the 0-1 pitch from Heidinger to Trace Wilhoit. That's an off-speed pitch that'll be in there for a strike. And the count quickly is 0-2. So in ASUN action yesterday for Western Division teams, Central Arkansas was a 7-4 winner over Missouri State. And everyone else was a loser other than Lipscomb, who defeated Akron 9-4. Bellarmine lost 9-3 to NJIT. Eastern Kentucky lost 8-1 to Mercer. Jacksonville State lost 10-8 against Kentucky, a back-and-forth affair. Way outside for the 0-2 pitch. It's ball one. North Alabama lost 8-1 at Southern Mississippi. So on the west side, Central Arkansas and Lipscomb with wins to start off the season. Everyone else losing. We'll tell you about the East Division here momentarily. Quickly, Kennesaw State was a 4-0 winner against Morehead State. Jacksonville beat High Point 6-3. Throw's going to go to first. Stetson defeated Delaware 4-3. Florida Gulf Coast lost 9-6 to Cincinnati. Liberty lost 7-2 at 9th-ranked Florida, and North Florida lost 8-7 against Presbyterian. So all those teams back in action today in Atlantic Sun Conference play. We'll try to update you on scores as we have them for those teams and area teams. Again, throw going to first, and they're really keeping an eye on Lundgren over there. Got a 1-ball, 2-strike count on Trace Wilhoit. He's batting with 1 out and a 2-2 ball game, bottom of the third inning, as the Bisons have tied it up here with a base hit, 2 base hits and a run scored in this inning. And we await the 1-2 from Heidinger. Again outside, and the count leaving at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Ketchup started the inning with a bunt single. He was sacrificed to second by Maddox Houghton, and then scored on the RBI base hit from Mason Lundgren, and that's where we are with 1 out and a man on, and Trace Wilhoit awaiting a 2-2 pitch from Tade Heidinger. Swings and hits this in the air, high towards center field. Revo's going to come in a couple steps. He's camped out under it, and he'll glove that easily for the second out of the inning. So Wilhoit is retired on a fly ball, and that'll bring up Malik Williams. Williams reached on an error and scored a run back in the second inning. Third run he's already scored on the young season after scoring 2 yesterday. A couple of hits, including the home run that he had in the bottom of the first inning. So Malik off to a hot start for the season. He was the Bison's leading hitter last year, batting .320 on the campaign in 38 games that he started, played in 40 overall, 2 home runs and 23 RBIs. And again, the throw to first. Lundgren extended the lead a little bit that time, and we saw a much better move from Heidinger, more of his A move than what we had seen earlier. And Heidinger's done an excellent job. He's been really varying the holes, doing a lot of different counts and tempos, showing some different moves. So you can tell he's an experienced youngster on the mound, this senior right-hander. Previously out of Fullerton College. That's a fastball that's going to stay high, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Again, our dimensions here at Ken Dugan Field, 330 down the foul lines, 375 to the power alleys, 400 to straightaway center field. It's a symmetrical ballpark with about a standard 8-foot fence all the way around. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Lundgren is running, and Malik Williams hits that high in the air towards left field. I don't think Arrivo saw it at first. Now he's coming in, and he's going to camp out under it, or rather Granger, and make the catch. So I don't think he saw that off the bat, but Williams is retired for the third out of the inning. But the Bisons do some damage. They score 1 run on 2 hits. There were no errors, and they did leave their second runner of the day. And we've played 3 full innings now, and your new scorer, Akron 2 and Lipscomb 2. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We're headed to the top half of the fourth inning. We're playing at Ken Dugan Field, the campus of Lipscomb University in Nashville, Tennessee. And we're all tied up at 2 between Akron Zips and the Lipscomb Bisons. We're glad you're with us here. Again, if you're in the area, come on out to the ballpark. Still a lot of baseball to be played here. And Logan Van Treek is back out to start the fourth inning. He'll face 7, 8, 9 for the Zips, Horvath, Granger, and Drosty. Again, Van Treek cruising along and ran into some trouble in the last inning. Actually ended up getting 3 strikeouts in the inning, but that was sandwiched around a couple of walks, a hit by pitch, and a base hit. And so that allowed the Zips to put 2 runs on the board. And it's ball 1 to Horvath. So far through 3 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts for Van Treek. So he's been incredibly effective. He hits out off the ground, or off the end of the bat, rather, down to Mason Lundgren, who will record the first out of the inning. So Horvath's retired, and that'll bring up Zach Granger. Granger started the third inning off with a bunt base hit that was out in front of the plate. It was picked up by Van Treek and was thrown wildly. It allowed him to advance to second. He eventually came around and scored, so he was the start of that 2-run inning for the Zips, and he'll bat here with 1 out and the base is empty. And this one's going to stay outside for ball 1. Again, Van Treek hit 60 pitches here. Got some activity down in the Bison's bullpen. We believe that's Chandler Giles still throwing. Here comes the 1-0, and that's inside. Almost hit him. That'll make the count 2 balls and no strikes. Drosty waits on deck. That's going to be through there for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Same 2 teams tomorrow. The series finale is going to be at 1 p.m. here at Ken Dugan Field. The redshirt sophomore Ike Buxton will start for the Bisons. That one's going to stay low, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike now on Zach Granger. So game time again, 1 p.m. tomorrow, first pitch. And here comes the 3-1. That's going to stay outside for ball 4. So Granger's going to reach with a walk, and that'll be the 3rd walk of the day for Logan Van Treek. And that'll bring up first baseman Grayson Drosty. He was a strikeout victim swinging back in that 3rd inning. First at bat on the season for Drosty, who did not play yesterday. He again is a junior out of Fishers, Indiana. Van Treek from the stretch, and that's swung on and hit in the air towards left field. It's going to be a very long run for Borum. He's going to keep coming, and that's going to hit in foul territory. So Borum was shaded over toward left center field, and he and third baseman Trace Wilhoit gave chase, as did shortstop Caleb Ketchup. But again, that was hit an area where no one could catch up to it, and so it'll be strike 1 for Grayson Drosty. Again, Zach Granger, your runner at first base. One out. We're in the top of the 4th inning. Lipscomb and Akron are tied 2-2. Logan Van Treek's gone all the way so far for the Bisons, the sophomore left-hander. And here comes the 0-1 pitch. Fastball hit foul off to the right side. Van Treek seems to be maintaining his velocity, which of course is a great sign, as we mentioned, coming off an injury and looking to work himself back into shape here. So he's continuing to work that fastball in the outside corner of the plate, throwing some excellent breaking balls, and he's got Drosty down, no balls, 2 strikes. Top of the order, Hara waits on deck. Long hold here, and that's a breaking ball. It looks like it stayed high. Maxwell did a good job bouncing out of there to field that one. So 1 ball, 2 strikes on Grayson Drosty. Only 2 left-handed hitters in the lineup for the Zips today against the lefty Van Treek. Here comes the 1-2. That one stayed downstairs, 2-2. Bisons with 3 left-handed hitters in against the right-hander Tade Heininger. Here comes the 2-2 pitch, and that stays high as well. 3 balls, 2 strikes. So he had Drosty down in a 2-strike count, and now he's worked the count full. And we'll see if Coach Sabo elects to put Granger in motion from first. Again, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, top of the 4th inning. Swings and fouls it back, and he was indeed running on the pitch, as you see. Drosty took a hack at that outside fastball. In a couple situations like this where Van Treek has come back to that slow breaking ball, he can throw the breaking ball at different speeds, and he's gotten a couple of key strikeouts today on that slower, I'll call it, of the two breaking balls that have floated in for a strike. So we'll see how he elects to pitch Drosty. That was a fastball in the outside corner. Here comes the payoff. That's going to stay outside for ball 4. So that Drosty will draw a base on balls, and that'll be 2 on and back to the top of the order for Kato Hara. And it's going to be the 4th walk of the day for Logan Van Treek, and I think that's probably going to be the end of his day. Looks like Coach Jeff Forehand is on his way out to the mound, and so we'll have a pitching change. So we'll step aside for a moment and take a break. When we come back, we'll tell you all about the new pitcher. Again, 4th inning. Akron 2, Lipscomb 2. You're watching Lipscomb Bison's Baseball on YouTube Live. New pitcher for the Bisons is sophomore right-hander Chandler Giles, a 6'1", 195-pounder out of Fremont, California. And this will be Giles' first action on the season, his first Division I action. His hometown is Fremont, California, as we mentioned. He prepped at John F. Kennedy High School. Previously attended San Joaquin Delta College. So he's seeing his first Division I action today, and he comes in with 2 runners on and 1 out in the top of the 4th inning in a 2-2 ball game between Akron and Lipscomb. And he starts off with a breaking ball for a strike against Kato Hara. So Hara batting in the leadoff spot, struck out swinging in the 1st, and then reached on a walk and scored a run back in the 3rd inning. As we mentioned, Hara with a big day yesterday, 3 hits and 3 trips and a couple of RBIs. So Zips are threatening here in the 4th inning, and that's another breaking ball is going to stay outside. It'll be 1 ball and 1 strike from Chandler Giles to Kato Hara. So Coach Forehand told us Giles has been a young man that's really pitched well this spring. Expected to see him on the mound a good bit. He's got a 3-pitch mix, fastball, breaking ball, and a changeup. And he brings the 1-1 offering to Hara, and that's a fastball in the outside corner for a strike. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Good location there. Granger's your runner at second. Drosty the runner at first. Inning started with Horvath retired on a ground out, and then 2 consecutive walks. And the Zips have 2 on and 1 man out in the top of the 4th inning. 1-2 from Giles. Swings through a breaking ball for strike 3. So Giles comes in and gets a big strike out there for the 2nd out of the inning, and that'll bring up Cameron Benson, the shortstop. And Benson's 1 for 2 on the day. He popped out to short in the 1st, and then he singled and stole the base back in the 3rd. So 1 for 2 today after being 2 for 5 yesterday. 3 for 7 on the young season. And that one's going to be a fastball that stays off the plate for ball 1 for Benson. Again, Benson, true freshman coming in and playing out of Farmington Hills, Michigan. Good-looking youngster, 6'3", 175-pound left-handed stick. And he awaits the 1-0 from Giles. He gets it downstairs, ball 2. So outfield is straight away and deep. The second baseman, McMillan, shaded way over to his left-hand side in the gap between first and second base. Trying to take away any pull hit through the hole there. And that's going to be a breaking ball that stays low and inside. And the count's going to be 3 balls and no strikes on Benson. Arrivo would be next if Benson is able to extend this inning here. Giles gets set to bring the 3-0 pitch. That's going to stay high for ball 4. So third walk of the inning for Bison's pitchers, 2 from Logan Van Treek and 1 from Chandler Giles, and that will load the bases as Granger will trot over to third. Drosty will move to second, and Benson's on at first, and Nick Arrivo's up. Arrivo 0 for 2 on the day. He flew out to center field in the first. He struck out swinging in the third. He was 0 for 5 also yesterday. He's got a chance to break this one open here. Looks at a breaking ball in the outside corner for strike 1. So Giles has thrown that breaking ball up effectively toward that outside corner. To the 3 hitters that he's faced so far, and he'd like to get an out on Arrivo here and hold this one right where it is. He comes in relief of starter Logan Van Treek in the 4th inning. Another breaking ball. That one's going to stay low, and it'll even account at a ball and a strike. Catcher Rudy Maxwell doing a good job behind the plate today. Again, Rudy, graduate transfer in from Duke, local youngster, played at Entworth High School, and I'm sure he's excited to be back home playing in front of a lot of family and friends here at Ken Dugan Field in Nashville, Tennessee. So bases are full, 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, and Chandler Giles gets ready to pitch to Nick Arrivo. And he swings through a fastball there, ball and 2 strikes. Had a healthy cut at that one. Didn't catch up to it, so Giles 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning here. Zips have already stranded 4 runners through the first 3, and they've got 3 more on the bases here. So again, we mentioned how they had a slow start in yesterday's game, but they've really come on and hit the ball well and put a lot of offensive pressure on the Bisons since the middle of yesterday's game. And here comes the 1-2 pitch. And that's a breaking ball that he lays off. It stays outside, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Again, the Zips collected 11 hits yesterday. They've already got 3 on today's activity. So Coach Sabo has to be happy with how they're swinging the bat here early in the season. Had a couple of innings yesterday where they had some runners on base, just couldn't get that timely hit to bring them in. But they had a lot of activity after you got out of the first couple of innings. Here comes the 2-2 pitch from Giles. Swing tapped toward the right side. Giles can't get it. It's going to be fielded by McMillan. Throws to first, and he's safe. That's going to allow Granger to come in and score the 3rd run of the game. Everybody's going to move up 90 feet, and sort of bad luck there. Arrivo just tapped that off the end of the bat. It got past Giles. Again, McMillan was defending back, and he came in as quickly as he could, but Arrivo ran well and beat that out. So that allows the Zips to take a 3-2 lead, and that'll bring up Schellenbarger, and the bases are still loaded with 2 outs. Schellenbarger's got a single and a walk in his 2 trips to the plate today. And he'll stand in to face Chandler Giles. That's a fastball in the outside corner for strike 1. So one difference in today's game and yesterday, we mentioned the Bisons, no walks on yesterday, and today they've been victimized a bit by the walk, and that's led to some offense for the Zips, who now have 4 hits on the day for their 3 runs. Here comes the 0-1, swings through and fouls that one back, and it's 0-2. So Horvath started the inning grounding out, and then Granger reached on a walk. Drosty reached on a walk. Strikeout of Hara. Another walk to Benson, and then that swinging bunt single by Arrivo. And that's how the Zips have got a run on the board this inning, courtesy of 1 base hit, and they still have the bases loaded. We got an 0-2 count to Schellenbarger. That one's going to stay high for a ball and 2 strikes. Chandler Giles on in relief. Starter Logan Van Treek, first action of the season for Giles. And he'd like to make a pitch here and have a chance to get out of this inning and limit the damage. Again, the Zips with 1 run home, but bases loaded, 2 outs. We got a 1 ball, 2 strike count. And And that breaking ball is going to stay high, and it's going to be 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded, top of the 4th. Akron 3, Lipscomb 2. And Brian Schellenbarger will await Chandler Giles' 2-2 offering here. And he struck him out. So big pitch there as Chandler Giles comes on and gets 2 strikeouts in the inning, and they'll strand 3 more runners. That's 2 consecutive innings that the Zips have left the bases loaded. But they do take the lead back as they push across 1 run on 1 hit. And we've now played 3.5 innings, and your new score, Akron 3 and Lipscomb 2. You're watching Lipscomb Bison's Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the home half of the 4th inning. Akron 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error. Lipscomb 2 runs, 3 hits, and 1 error. And Tate Heidinger back out for his 4th inning of work. In his 3 innings, he's given up 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned. He's walked 1 and struck out 1. And he'll be facing 5, 6, 7 for the Bisons with Maxwell, Shields, and McMillan, as Akron has jumped back out to a 3-2 lead, scoring 2 in the 3rd and 1 in the 4th after the Bisons put up 1 in the 2nd and 1 in the 3rd. So back and forth ball game here between these 2 clubs today. And Rudy Maxwell will lead it off. He reached via single his first at-bat. And he looks at a breaking ball that stays inside, and that'll be 1 ball and no strikes. Maxwell now batting .500 on the young season, 3 out of 6 after going 2 for 5 yesterday. Again, he had the solo home run in his first at-bat as a Bison. And here comes the 1-0, and he lays off that one high, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Again, Maxwell got the start in left field yesterday. He's doing the catching today with Bison's catcher Chaz Bertolani getting a day off. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Swung on and hammered down the 3rd baseline past the diving Reinhardt. That's going to go all the way down towards the corner. Maxwell is rounding first. He's on his way to 2nd, and he'll get in there sliding with a leadoff double. So Rudy Maxwell stays with his red-hot start to the season. He's now got his 4th base hit out of 7 plate appearances so far, and he'll lead the Bison attack off in the 4th inning with a double. That'll bring up John Shields. Shields walked and then was doubled off of first base in the 1st inning. He was strayed a little too far on a ball that was hit deep to center field. A sacrifice fly by Cam McMillan, or rather to right field, and that ball was cut off, and they doubled Shields off behind the play. So Shields would like to get back. It's his 2nd at-bat of the season here. Let's see how they elect to play it. He swings and hits this one off the left side. I think that's going to reach the seats, and it does. 3rd baseman Reinhardt gave chase, but he couldn't catch up to it. No balls and 1 strike. Again, Shields playing in right field today, seeing his first action since the 2020 campaign as he missed all of last year with injury. So good to see John back out in the lineup there. Here comes the 0-1 from Heidinger. And he takes that off the plate. Good location, but just missed. It's a ball and a strike. No sign of a bunt from Shields. Infield's playing pretty much back in normal position. The first baseman Drosty is back, so if Shields were to drop a bunt down the first baseline, he would have an excellent chance, but he hasn't shown bunt yet, and here comes the 1-1 pitch. And he swings and hammers that to right field. That one's going to be way out of here. Gone! Home run! John Shields. You sort of knew when that one came off the bat, that one was going to get out of here. Shields really turned and hammered that one out way over the right field fence. Schellenbarger turned and took a couple steps, and then he knew that one was gone. So Shields has put the Bisons back on top with a 2-run home run over the right field wall, and his first hit of the season, again, is a memorable one. It'll be the 4th home run the Bisons have hit on the season. That'll empty the bases and bring up Cam McMillan. And I suppose that's why Shields was not showing bunt there. He sat on that one and really hammered that one over the right field wall, turned on it quickly. McMillan also aggressively goes up there and fouls that one back. McMillan had that sacrifice fly at an RBI back in the 2nd inning. That was his first at-bat of the season. McMillan, who's previously played at Vanderbilt and at Houston, now part of the Lipscomb program here is Cam McMillan. That's a breaking ball that he's going to foul off, and Heidinger gets ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. McMillan is a 6'5", 225-pounder out of Kansas City, Missouri. Previously was at John Logan, as well as Vanderbilt and Houston. Coach Forehand really excited about the tools that this young man has. And he lays off that breaking ball, no balls, 2 strikes. He said McMillan's just a great athlete. He's got a lot of power. Hasn't seen a lot of action through college yet, and so he's eager to see him out there and have a chance to get in the lineup. He can play shortstop, he can play second, he can play third. He's even played some outfield, so a very versatile defender in addition to a threat at the plate. Here comes the 1-2 from Heidinger, and he checks his swing, and home plate umpire David Mayberry says that he did go. So he's going to strike out for the first out of the inning. McMillan down on strikes, and that'll bring up Tiger Borum. Borum grounded out over to second baseman Hara back in the 4th inning. I don't think that Coach Forehand was completely in agreement with that call, as he seems to be shouting down a few words of encouragement towards home plate, but nonetheless, he's not going to change the outcome of the play. There's going to be 1 out and nobody on for Borum. 2 runs home in the inning for the Bisons as they lead 4-3. That's a fastball that stays outside for ball 1. We mentioned some scores of area teams that we'll try to get to today. Belmont has already defeated Toledo 7-2. Tennessee Martin leading Miami of Ohio 2-1 in the bottom of the 4th. Swung on and hammered toward right center field. That's going back. Arrivo keeps going back at the wall, and it's over his head. It goes off the wall. Borum is going to round second. He's going to head towards third, and Borum's going to get into third with a stand-up triple. I thought that ball had a chance to get out of here as it was hit well towards one of the deeper parts of the ballpark. Arrivo kind of kept drifting back, and then at the last minute was leaping, but he couldn't get up to the level that he needed to get that one as it went off the wall. Borum never checked up, has good speed, and he lands all the way at third base, and so he's over there with 1 out. It's the 3rd Bison's hit of the inning. They had the double by Maxwell, the home run by Shields, and now the triple by Tiger Borum, and that'll bring Caleb Ketchup to the plate. Ketchup reached on a bunt and ended up getting a base hit and scoring a run in the 3rd inning as he got his first Bison's base hit for this transfer from the University of Georgia. And he'd love to drive a run in here. There's a breaking ball that's going to get in there for a strike. Infield is already in, so an interesting choice here. Coach Sabo in this 4-3 game in the bottom of the 4th inning elects to bring the infield on the grass, trying to keep this one right where it is and not allow the Bisons to score on a infield ground ball. So no ball, 1 strike to Caleb Ketchup. And he checks his swing, and again, David Mayberry says, yes, you did. And so Ketchup's down in the hole, no balls, 2 strikes. 1 out. Borum, your runner at third base with good speed. Outfield is playing fairly deep, so a fly ball with any carry on it at all should get the run home. Infield again on the grass all the way around. Reinhardt at third, Benson at short, Hara at second, and Drosty at first. And here comes the 0-2 pitch from Heidinger to Ketchup. That's off the plate with a breaking ball. It'll be a ball and 2 strikes. Top of the order, Maddox Houghton waits on deck. Lipscomb 4, Akron 3, bottom of the fourth inning. This has been a really entertaining game with both teams going back and forth. Seeing a lot of offensive action. 4 hits for the Zips, 6 hits for the Bison so far. We're just in the bottom of the fourth inning. Here comes the 1-2. Swung on, hammered towards left field. Granger going back, still going back, turned around. That ball looks up, and he's not going to catch it. It's going to land and bounce against the wall. Borum's going to score easily, and Ketchup's going to be in at second base with a double. So Ketchup hit that ball well. That would have easily scored the run as a sacrifice fly. I think Granger didn't see it great off the bat. Left field is a tough sun field out here. As the sun goes down in the west, that's a hard place to see. And Granger got turned around, retreated back, and the ball just got over his head, much like the ball that Borum hit did as well. And he was unable to come up with it. Borum actually held up to make sure the ball wasn't caught, but he was going to score easily. And that's the 4th Bison's base hit of the inning. They've got 2 runs home, and they now lead 5-3 as pitching coordinator Connor Fay goes out to the mound to chat with Tade Heidinger. We are seeing a little bit of activity down in the Akron bullpen. From our vantage point, can't make out any numbers, but there's a little bit of scurrying around there. So just to recap this inning, it started with Maxwell with a double down the left field line. Then Shields hammered one out to right field for a home run. McMillan struck out swinging, and then Borum hit a triple off the right field, or the center field wall, really, to get himself to third base. And Caleb Ketchuk just hit one off the wall in left field. So there have been 4 hard hit balls this inning by the Bisons, and that's resulted in 3 runs and put them up 5-3. They came into this inning trailing 3-2. We're back to the top of the order, and Maddox Houghton. Houghton flew out to left in the first and had a sacrifice bunt back in the 3rd inning. And he bats now with Ketchup, the runner at second, again with good speed there. Swung on, hammered into left field. That's going to be a base hit. Granger's going to come up. They're going to wave Ketchup around. The throw's going to come towards home plate, but he's going to get in there easily. And Maddox Houghton has an RBI base hit. So good piece of hitting there, Maddox Houghton. He just sat on that first pitch, drove it into left field. Again, Granger came in, did what he could, but Ketchuk, good lead at second, runs really well, never hesitated. He read the ball off the bat. And even though there was a good throw and relay, they had no shot to get Caleb Ketchuk at home plate. So it's the 4th run of the inning for the Bisons. They've jumped back out to a 6-3 lead. And that brings up Mason Lundgren. Lundgren was a strikeout victim in the first, and then he singled back in the 3rd. He got his second base hit on the season. And he bats with 1 out, and Houghton running at first, and that's a breaking ball that gets in there for a strike. 0-1. Heidinger had been very efficient coming into this inning. He's up to 57 pitches now, so you got to think that this might be his last inning of work. So he's stretched this inning out a little bit. He's got a no-ball, 1-strike count against Lundgren, and 1 out, and Houghton running at first. And Houghton bluffs a run. That's tapped on the ground towards first. Drosty's going to get it. He's going to tag Lundgren as he goes by him, and Houghton's going to advance to second on that fielder's choice. So Lundgren's retired, 3 unassisted, and that'll bring up Trace Wilhoit. And Trace still looking for his first base hit on the season. He grounded out in the first and flew out in the 3rd, so he'd love to have a chance to get that first base hit, drive in 1 more run as Houghton is at second base in scoring position with 2 men out in the bottom of the 4th inning. Your score, Lipscomb 6, Akron 3. That's a ball that stays low. 1 ball, no strikes. So 4 runs in this inning for the Bisons, courtesy of 5 base hits. And a 1-0 pitch due to Trace Wilhoit. That's another breaking ball that's going to stay low. 2 balls, no strikes. Heidinger's really used that breaking ball effectively here. He's got some swings and misses, and so he's been going to it a little bit more as we've gotten here into the middle innings. And it's in his 3rd trip through the lineup, and we often hear coaches talk about adjusting that pitching strategy. By the 3rd time hitters have seen a pitcher, they tend to sit on some patterns, and so we often like to see them change things up. Here's the 2-0, and that's a pitch on the outside corner. Wilhoit held up, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Good spot for that fastball. be a 2-ball, 1-strike count, 2 outs. Again, Houghton, your runner at second. He's got good speed. Hara is shading him a couple steps toward the bag just to keep him from getting that lead extended too far. Swung on and fouled back. That was a slider on the outside part. So 2 balls, 2 strikes here for Trace Wilhoit. 4 runs in the inning for the Bisons. Again, they entered the inning trailing 3-2. They've jumped out to a 6-3 lead, courtesy of those 5 base hits they've had this inning, one of which was the 2-run home run off the bat of John Shields. And we await the 2-2 pitch to Trace Wilhoit. Swung on and fouled again. Another breaking ball on the outside part, like a slider. So Wilhoit hangs in there. And we'll do it all again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Maddox Houghton running at second base. Tade Heidinger has done an excellent job battling through for Akron here this afternoon. But this has been an inning where the Bisons have gotten to him a little bit. Here comes the 2-2. Just off the corner. That was an excellent pitch. He really had that located well. He thought he had the call. He was starting off the mound, and I think the Akron dugout thought he did as well. So that's going to make the count full. Looked like a fastball he threw right on the outside part of the plate, but home plate umpire David Mayberry said, nope, I didn't think it caught the plate. So we'll await the payoff pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and here it is. That's going to stay high, ball 4. So Wilhoit works a walk, and that'll bring up Malik Williams. And you know that the Zips would prefer to have seen Malik batting the next inning. Again, big day yesterday for the big fella, 2 for 5 with a home run. Today he's reached on an error and he flew out to left field. So he bats now with 2 outs, 2 on. Two for 7 on the season with a home run. He's already scored a run here today. That's a breaking ball in there for a strike. No balls, 1 strike. Again, Houghton running at second, good speed. Wilhoit running at first. They're not holding him on, obviously, as Strosty plays behind him to guard the line. Hara is cheating the runner at second a little bit. And he checked his swing on that breaking ball, but he couldn't hold up. Nothing in 2. So again, Malik Williams will have a chance to hit with 2 strikes. We talked earlier and on the opening today about his improvement there, and he's going to have a chance to work that again as Tade Heidinger has him in a no-ball, 2-strike count. 2 on, 2 outs. Bottom half of inning 4, Lipscomb 6, Akron 3. Houghton is running, but it won't matter because Malik Williams swings through strike 3. So credit Heidinger for coming back with a big strikeout there to end the damage, but it's a big inning for the Bisons. They played 4 runs on 5 hits. There were no errors. They did leave 2 on base, and they've stranded 4 through the first 4 innings. But we've got a brand new score after 4. Your new score, Lipscomb 6 and Akron 3. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We're headed to the top half of the 5th inning. Lipscomb leading Akron 6-3. Chandler Giles back out on the mound for the Bisons. He came in relief for the starter, Logan Van Treek. Gave up a walk and a base hit, but had 2 big strikeouts to leave the bases loaded in the 4th. And That allowed the Zips to only score 1 run despite threatening, and so he'll face 5, 6, 7 with Haas, Reinhardt, and Horvath here in the top of the 5th inning. And Haas taps this in front of the plate. Maxwell's going to bounce out and field it. He's going to throw to first, and he will retire Haas for the first out of the inning. Haas was previously hit by a pitch and struck out, so he's 0 for 2 now. That'll bring up Jerry Reinhardt. Reinhardt struck out twice, once in the 2nd inning, once in the 3rd. Both of those at-bats were against Logan Van Treek. He's now 1 for 7 on the young season as Jerry Reinhardt, the 3rd baseman out of Batavia, New York, a 5th-year player. And Chandler Giles will pitch to him here. Shows bunt, pulls back, and that's a pitch on the outside corner for a strike. 0-1. Trace Wilhoit now will shallow up a little bit at 3rd base. He was playing deeper, and he'll come in about even with the bag as the pitch is delivered there. Lundgren a step or 2 behind the bag at first. Doesn't show bunt this time. Instead takes a breaking pitch outside for a ball and a strike. A couple of other scores involving ASUN teams. Bellarmine has lost to New Jersey Tech 9-3. Kennesaw State has beaten Morehead State 4-0. And Missouri State beat Central Arkansas 11-2 in 10 innings. That one's going to stay high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Cincinnati leading Florida Gulf Coast 13-9 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Mercer leading Eastern Kentucky 10-2 in the 9th. That stays high, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike on Jerry Reinhardt. North Florida leading Presbyterian 7-5 in the top of the 8th inning, and Jacksonville and High Point are tied up now 8-8 in the top of the 7th. Breaking pitch there for a strike. Nice one floated in there. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Reinhardt. Southern Miss leading North Alabama 6-2 in the top of the 6th. And Stetson is leading Notre Dame 1-0 in the bottom of the 2nd. 13th ranked Notre Dame and Stetson. And he swings on an off-speed pitch and gets him for a strikeout. So 3rd strikeout for Chandler Giles since he came in, and quickly 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. That's one of those momentum changers that coaches like to see. After you've had that big 4-run inning that the Bisons had, for have a pitcher to come back out, compete well, stay in the zone, is a big momentum shift in the ball game. So Chandler Giles has 2 quick outs, and Andrew Horvath, the catcher, will come up. He struck out in the 2nd, grounded out in the 4th. And that's a backdoor breaking ball that stays inside for ball 1. Liberty and Florida are underway. It's 2-0 Liberty leading 9th-ranked Florida in the bottom of the 2nd inning. That's an excuse me swing towards first base. It's going to go foul. So it'll be a ball and a strike. Looks like Cincinnati and Florida Gulf Coast going to play another game today. Bellarmine and Gardner Webb will play tonight. And another final score in an area team. St. John's has beaten Middle Tennessee 6-5. Have a score in the bottom of the 6th. Boston College leading Austin Peay 9-8. And Tennessee has gone final, defeating Georgia Southern 10-3. That's swung on and hammered towards short. Ketchup plays it off his glove, but it bounces out into left field, and we'll see how they score that. That ball was hit really hard by Horvath. And Ketchup, a bit of self-defense there, trying to get that ball onto the glove. We'll see how they score it here. Looks like they're going to give him a base hit. So that'll be the first base hit today for Horvath, and he's on with 2 outs at first base. That'll be the 5th base hit of the day for the Zips, and bring up Zach Granger, the left fielder, who's got one of those base hits. He takes a strike on the outside corner. He singled and with a bunt, got on board and wound up scoring a run in the 3rd. He also walked and scored a run in the 2nd, so he's been on base twice and scored 2 runs. 2 of the 3 runs that Akron has have come courtesy of the feet of Mr. Granger. He's in left field today. Senior out of Elmira, New York. 5th year, 6'2", 215-pounder. And here comes the 0-1 pitch. That's a breaking ball that'll stay outside. It'll be 1 ball and 1 strike. So Chandler Giles on in relief of the Bison starter Logan Van Treek, who pitched first 3 innings and into the 4th. And here comes the 1-1 to Granger. Swung on and fouled out of play. It'll be 1 ball and 2 strikes. Intrigue started, ended up going 3 1/3, 3 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 4 walks, and 7 strikeouts. And he was really effective earlier, those strikeouts, and was commanding both sides of the plate and just seemed to lose a little bit of feel. Got into trouble with a couple of walks, and Chandler Giles came in and did a nice job to get the Bisons out of the 4th inning. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and hammered towards left field. That's going to drop down in front of Borum, and he's going to charge, and rounding second and heading towards third is Harvath, and they're going to allow Granger to get all the way to second base. So I believe he'll get a double on that. That ball was hit softly off the end of the bat, but it was hit into an area where Borum was playing deep, and so he had to come up and try to make a play on that. And again, with 2 outs, Horvath was on the move and didn't hesitate. So that's going to bring pitching coach Matt Myers out to the mound for a chat with Chandler Giles. So the situation's 2nd and 3rd now with 2 outs. Again, Giles started the inning getting a ground out of Haas and a strikeout of Reinhardt. He's got 3 strikeouts in an inning and 2/3 of work so far. But back-to-back base hits here by the Zips, and they're threatening again with 2 outs, runners on 2nd and 3rd. Again, Lipscomb leading Akron 6-3. We're playing in the top of the 5th inning here, game 2 of this 3-game series. The Bisons victorious 9-4 yesterday. Game 3 tomorrow, 1 p.m. first pitch. We hope you'll come out and see us at the ballpark. Bisons are also back in action on Tuesday. They host Western Kentucky in a midweek game Tuesday afternoon. First pitch is at 3 p.m. And then next weekend, Bradley comes in on Friday, and Pittsburgh comes in on Saturday and Sunday. So a lot of college baseball here at Dugan Field over the next couple of days. We hope that you'll come out and join us if you're in the area and watch this extended homestand as the Lipscomb Bisons start their 2022 season. So runners at 2nd and 3rd. There's 2 outs. Grayson Drosty is up, and he swings and hits that high in the air in the foul territory. Will Hoyt ranging over, still ranging over. Ketchup calls him off, and now he makes the grab. He overran the ball, looked like he might not see it well, and then he dove back to catch that in foul territory, and a big out there as Drosty is retired by popping out to the shortstop Ketchup for the 3rd out of the inning, and that'll strand 2 more base runners. The Zips have stranded 9 base runners through 5 innings. But they don't score in the inning, despite having 2 base hits. And we've now played 4.5. Your score, Lipscomb 6 and Akron 3. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the home half of the 5th inning. We've got a change on the mound for Akron. The right-hander Brady Biglin has come in, a graduate student from Crestline, Ohio, 6'2", 190-pounder out of Notre Dame College. I don't have any stats on him from last season, so I'd assume this is his first action with Akron, and he comes on in relief of the starter Tade Heidinger, who pitched the first 4 innings. He's going to face Rudy Maxwell, John Shields, and Cam McMillan to start things off in the 5th for the Bisons. Rudy's had a big day. He's had a single and a double and scored a run. 2 for 2 on the day. And he hits this one high in the air foul. It's coming straight back. Horvath's giving chase, still giving chase. He reaches up and he gloves it. So that came back quite a ways. Thought that one was going to get behind the screen. But Maxwell is retired for the first time today, and that's after having 2 base hits yesterday and 2 more base hits today. So that'll bring up John Shields, also having a terrific day. Shields reached on a walk back in the 2nd inning and then homered over the right field wall in the 4th inning to put the Bisons back on top. First action of the season for Shields, so he's 1 for 1 on the season. Been on base both times. And he shows bunt, takes a strike. So Bigland, a hard-throwing right-hander, coming on in relief for Heidinger. You can close the book on Heidinger. He winds up going 4 innings, gives up 8 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Through a total of 68 pitches did Tade Heidinger, the starter. And this is hit in the air towards shortstop. Benson's going to drift back, still going back, looks up and falls down, but I believe he made the catch. Yes, he did. So Shields is retired. He's going to pop out for the 2nd out of the inning. And quickly, Brady Bigland has got 2 outs. That'll bring up Cam McMillan. McMillan hit a sacrifice fly to drive in the Bison's first run back in the 2nd inning. And he was a strikeout victim in the 4th. So McMillan getting his first action on the season, officially 0 for 1. That one's going to stay inside. So Bigland, a really hard-throwing right-hander, seems to have a lot of movement. That had some arm side run on it, that pitch with fastball. Might have been a 2-seamer that he brought in. We'll continue to track Bigland, who's quickly gotten 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Another fastball right through there for a strike. So 1 ball and 1 strike. 6 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for Lipscomb, 3 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error for Akron. So a lot of offense between these 2 teams, and they did the same thing yesterday. Got off to an explosive start, and then things quieted down in the latter innings. That almost hits him. Fastball stays inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bisons started out with 8 runs in the first 3 innings in yesterday's affair. Put another one up in the 9th, and then were held scoreless the rest of the day, but they hung on for a 9-4 win, despite being out hit by 11-8 by Akron. That's tapped towards the mound, and Bigland's going to field it and toss over to first. So a quick 1-2-3 inning and an impressive inning from Brady Bigland as he comes in relief. And the Bisons go down quietly in the 5th inning, nothing doing. They've stranded 4 on the day. They have 8 base hits, but the Bisons lead Akron 6-3 as we head to the 6th. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We had at the bottom or the top half of the sixth inning, Lipscomb leading Akron 6-3. Change on the mound for the Bisons. The new pitcher is left-hander Matthew Bonnert, a sophomore out of Cave Creek, Arizona, 5'7", 180 pounds. Previously at South Mountain Community College. Last season he had a 2-4 record there with 48 strikeouts in 30 2/3 innings and 11 appearances. Had 6 starts. And 2020 he also pitched there with only 5 2/3 innings work. So his first Division I collegiate action, and he'll face the top of the order, Cato Hara, and he starts him off with a breaking ball that's going to stay downstairs for ball 1. Hara's currently 0 for 2 on the day. Struck out twice, reached on a walk, and scored a run. And he swings and fouls that one out of play, 1 ball and 1 strike. So Matthew Bonnert, a young man that the coaching staff very high on. Coach Forehand said he's had a terrific spring. He's 91 to 93 miles an hour from the left side. Really a power pitcher that attacks the zone, throws a lot of strikes. So he comes on here in the 6th inning after Chandler Giles pitched a couple of effective innings. That's a pitch that's going to stay high. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. So again, Logan Van Treek was your starter, went 3 1/3. Chandler Giles winds up with an inning and 2/3, 3 hits but no runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. And that's tapped on the ground towards a new second baseman, David Coppage. He's going to throw over to first for the first out of the inning. So we failed to give you that change as well. Defensively for the Bisons, Coppage has gone in at second base, replacing Cam McMillan. Coppage got the start there yesterday. So a couple of changes for the Bisons as we enter the late innings here. That brings Cameron Benson to the plate. He popped out in the first, singled, stole the base in the third, reached on a walk in the fourth. So he's been on base a couple of times today after going 2 for 5 yesterday for this true freshman who's off to an excellent start. He looks at a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. And there's a breaking ball in there for a strike. So as we mentioned, Bonnert likes to come in with that 91 to 93 mile an hour fastball, throw that curveball. Just a lefty that's going to pound the zone, and facing one of only 2 left-handed bats in the lineup for the Zips, and Cameron Benson. That's a breaking ball just off the plate, 2 balls and 1 strike. A few shadows creeping in here. Again, it was 46 degrees at game time. Expect this temperature is going to be dropping as we get towards the latter parts of the day here. That's an excellent fastball on the outside corner, and he gets the call, 2 balls, 2 strikes. So really well executed pitch there from Matthew Bonnert. That'll be a 2-2 count on Cameron Benson. Batting with 1 out and the base is empty here in the top half of the 6th inning. And he swings through the breaking ball, strike 3. So first strikeout on the day for Bonnert, and 2 quick outs with the top of the order for the Zips, and that'll bring up the 3-hole hitter, Nick Arrivo. He flew out to center field in the first, got called out on strikes in the third, and then singled and was stranded in the fourth. So he's 1 for 3 on the day. 1 for 8 on the young season is Arrivo, the senior center fielder. And Bonnert misses low with a fastball, 1 ball, no strikes. Again, defensively, Will Hoyt at third, Ketchup at short. Coppage now at second, Lundgren at first. Borum, Houghton, and Shields are your outfielders. And Maxwell behind the plate will catch that one low, and it'll be 2 balls and no strikes as he threw a breaking ball in the dirt. Again, sophomore right-hander Ike Buxton expected to get the start for the Bisons tomorrow. 1 p.m. first pitch as these 2 teams conclude their opening weekend series, and mighty glad to be able to be playing baseball. That's fouled out of play, 2 balls, 1 strikes. This time of year, you never know what you get with the weather, but it's been a bit chilly, but we've had bright sunshine for both our first 2 days, expecting more of the same tomorrow, so we'll take chilly temperatures with that sunshine. Had a lot of rain in the Nashville area on Thursday, very heavy rains, but again, head groundskeeper Colby Rawls does a fantastic job with this natural grass field, and it's played very well the last 2 days despite that rain. That's a fastball that's going to stay high, and it'll be 3 balls and 1 strike. Schellenbarger waits on deck if Arrivo is able to reach. Got some activity down in the Akron bullpen. Again, can't get a number for you for that. We'll keep an eye on that. And just missed inside. That was close. But it'll be the first walk issued by Matthew Bonnard, and it'll give Schellenberger a chance to bat. Schellenberger has a base hit on the day, single back in the second. He reached on a walk in the third, and then he was a strikeout victim in the fourth. So he's been on base a couple of times in 3 trips to the plate. He'll bat now with 1 out, or correction, 2 outs and a runner on first. We're in the top half of the 6th inning as Lipscomb leads Akron 6-3. Bison scored 1 in the bottom of the second. Akron tallied 2 in the top of the third. Bison's tied it up in the bottom of the third, and then the Bisons broke it open with 4 in the bottom of the fourth. Ball's fouled back. Neither team scored in the 5th, so that brings us to our 6-3 score here. We mentioned yesterday the teams were active early, and then we had a lull in the middle innings as the relief pitchers came in and did a good job keeping the game close. And we expect to see this one play out in similar fashion here today with the relievers on both sides doing a good job so far. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Schellenberger. Swings through a fastball. And the count 0-2. Second baseman Coppage shading him way up the middle for a left-handed hitter. Apparently the scouting report is that he tends to go the other way because he's leaving an enormous gap since Lundgren's holding him on at first base. Big hole between first and second here. Here comes the 0-2 pitch, and he taps it towards Coppage. He's going to field it, and he's going to flip over to first. So apparently he knew what he was doing. He had him played there, and he records the 3rd out of the inning. And so the Zips will strand another runner. That's 10 they've stranded through 6 innings. They failed to score in the top of the 6th. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Your score, Lipscomb 6 and Akron 3. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We are at the bottom half of the 6th inning. Lipscomb leading Akron 6-3, and due up for the Bisons 8-9-1. Borum, Ketchup in the top of the order. Maddox, Houghton. They're going to face the right-hander Brady Biglin, who came on and had a 1-2-3 easy inning in the top of the 5th. Pitched very effectively. In relief for the Zips, and Borum stands in, having 1 for 2 on the day. Grounded out back in the 2nd, and then he tripled back in the 4th inning as he hit a ball to the deep part of the ballpark, and he takes a fastball down low for ball 1. Tiger Borum coming in after being hitless yesterday, but he did have a couple of sacrifice flies and a couple of RBI, so he got his first hit of the season earlier today. Borum coming off a freshman campaign in which he hit .252 and was selected to the ASUN All-Freshman team. Lays down a bunt. That's going to go towards the mound. It's going to be dropped by Biglin, and he'll have no shot. Borum with excellent speed, and once Biglin bobbled that, there was not going to be a chance. We'll see how they score that. If he makes a clean play there, he might get him out. They are going to rule that an error, so a tough error there. But Borum is going to reach on the error. That'll be the 2nd error of the day for the Zips. That'll bring up Caleb Ketchup, and Ketchup is 2 for 2 on the day. He had a bunt single back in the 3rd, and then he doubled off the left center field wall back in the 4th as he hit a ball deep over the head of the left fielder Granger. Good speed on it first with Borum. We'll see how Coach Forehand elects to play it here. He doesn't show bunt, takes a fastball inside for ball 1. Last year on the season, Borum was 12 out of 16 on stolen base attempts as a freshman, so again, you know he can run well. And we'll see how Coach Forehand elects to play this one. Another other fastball is going to stay inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Ketchup has not shown the bunt so far. Top of the order, Maddox Houghton waits on deck for the Bisons. Brady Bigland on in relief for the starter, Tade Heidinger, who pitched the first 4 innings. Not running, and he swings and taps that one foul. Took a big hack at a high hanging breaking ball there. Again, Akron in the midst of a tough schedule in the first part of the season. They play the 3 here this weekend. Next weekend they go to Georgia and play 3 games. Then they travel to Louisville for a 3-game series, and then they come home to host the University of Toledo to start off conference play. Borum jumping around at first, tapped towards third. Ketchup is going to run, and he's going to be picked up by the third baseman Reinhardt, who's going to make a play to first. So sort of a net swinging bunt there as Ketchup is retired on that ground out. Nice play by Reinhardt. Borum advances easily to second. That'll be the first out of the inning and bring up the top of the order in Maddox Houghton. Houghton flew out back in the first, had a sacrifice bunt in the third, and then singled in the 4th inning. So he's officially 1 for 2 on the day after being 1 for 3 yesterday. That one yesterday was a big one. It was a solo home run to lead off the season for the Bisons. So he's now 2 for 5 officially on the season. And that's going to get past the catcher Horvath, and that's going to allow Borum to get all the way to third base. So that was something that plagued the Zips yesterday, was the wild pitch. We saw a total of 5 wild pitches from the Zips pitchers yesterday, and that contributed to the Bisons' 9 runs despite only having 8 hits. So Borum's going to advance to third now. He reached on the error, advanced to second on the ground out. Now he's at third courtesy of the wild pitch, and it's a 1-ball, no-strike count on Maddox Houghton. Infield's coming in again on the grass as Coach Sabo would like to keep this one right here. Base hit into left field. Maddox Houghton's going to drive home Tiger Borum with the 7th run of the game for the Bisons. So that's where the speed of Tiger Borum really comes into play. He reaches on the error that on the bunt that he put down. He easily advances to second on a fielder's choice. And then Maddox Houghton has picked up another RBI, his 2nd on the season. And the Bisons have stretched their lead to 7-3, and that'll bring Mason Lundgren to the plate. Lundgren struck out in the first, singled in the third, and had a fielder's choice back in the 4th. So he bats now with 1 out, and Houghton running at first base. Again, Houghton with good speed. 6 of 7 in stolen base attempts last season. And experienced 5th-year senior knows how to run the bases. He is not going, and that one's a fastball off the plate for ball 1 against Mason Lundgren. So we mentioned that tough early season schedule for the Zips. They get into conference play, Northern Illinois, Eastern Michigan, Bowling Green State. Do have a game later in the season against Georgia Tech. They're actually coming to Akron to play the Zips. And they're going to chase Houghton back as he had that vault lead where he continued to advance. And they chase him back. We mentioned the Bisons back in action here tomorrow and then hosting Western Kentucky on Tuesday. First pitch at 3 p.m. Bradley comes in next Friday. And then University of Pittsburgh on Saturday and Sunday. That's fouled back to the screen. That'll even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. On the Bison's first baseman, Mason Lundgren. Again, sophomore out of Salina, Kansas, Neosha County Community College. Coach Forehand describes him as just a really good hitter, a guy that knows how to handle the bat, command the zone. Here comes the 1-1, and he fouls that one back to the screen. So it's a ball and 2 strikes on Mason Lundgren. Trace Wilhoit awaits on deck. Lundgren, one of several new faces out in the lineup today at first base. Coppage at second base now, also new to the program, as is Ketchup at short and Wilhoit at third. So an entirely new infield for the Bisons, and Maxwell behind the plate is also first year with the program. So a lot of new faces in the lineup for the Bisons this year. The 1-2 will not be made. It goes to first, bounces off Houghton's foot, but it's retrieved by Hara. And so Houghton will have to stay there. check the baseball and decide that it is still very playable in the condition in which it is. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. We're playing in the bottom of the 6th inning. Lipscomb is leading Akron 7-3. 1 out and a runner on first base, and here comes the 1-2 pitch. He's going. He swung on and hit towards the shortstop gap. Benson's going to field it. He's going to try to go to first, and he's not going to get there in time. So that's a place where the running game helped, as Benson was having to break towards second. Houghton was running with the pitch. He then has to put the brakes on, turn, and go to the hole. Lundgren just got that off the end of the bat. That'll be a base hit. And again, another place where the speed plays into the game here. That'll be the 2nd hit of the inning, and the Bisons already have 1 run home. They've got 2 on now for Trace Wilhoit. Wilhoit's 0 for 2 on the day, grounded out in the 1st, flew out in the 3rd, reached on a walk in the 4th. So Trace would love to get on track here, still looking for his first base hit as a Bison. And he looks at a breaking ball in there for strike 1. 10th hit of the day for the Bisons. They've out-hit the Zips 10-6 now after being out-hit yesterday 11-8 as Akron tallied more hits than the Bisons did. And Houghton is really dancing around at second. He's causing Hara to have to come over and defend him. And that's hit back up the middle. That's going to be a base hit. Houghton had to hold up, so he's going to come to third. And he's going to be held there by Coach Forehand. And that's Trace Wilhoit's first collegiate hit. Nice piece of hitting there. He went with that, hit it up the middle. Houghton had to hold up because he knew that the shortstop Benson had been playing behind him a little bit. And he did not want to put himself in the position of being doubled off. That ball was hit sharply. It was falling in the air. So bases are loaded now. The Bisons are threatening again with 3 men on and 1 out. And big Malik Williams comes to the plate. Malik, a little bit due today. He's reached on an arrow. He flew out to left field and struck out swinging. As after he went 2 for 5 yesterday with a solo home run. And he would love to add to the Bisons' lead here with the bases loaded and 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning. That's a breaking ball down low. And Malik saw a pretty steady diet of breaking balls in his last at-bat. I believe that quickly they've learned that he can handle the bat on the fastball here. So 1 ball, no strikes. Houghton, your runner at third, Lundgren at second, and Wilhoit at first. And the 1-0 swung on, hit in the air towards right field. Schellenberger going back, still going back, still going back. Looks up, and it's gone! Grand slam home run for Malik Williams. Well, we talked earlier in the broadcast about how when Malik Williams is going well, he uses all parts of the field, and you saw that there. That went straight out to right field. Again, his home run yesterday was hit towards right center field, and Malik Williams with a big swing of the bat has broken this one open for the Bisons. They now lead 11-3. 3 hits in the inning, including that big blow off the bat of Malik Williams. Second home run of the day for the Bisons. John Shield went deep earlier with a 2-run blast, and that'll bring up Rudy Maxwell, who's in the midst of a good day himself. A single, a double, and he popped out to the catcher. So he's 2 for 3 on the day. And he swings through a fastball there for strike 1. So again, as I mentioned, Malik Williams sort of due. He'd had a quiet day so far, but hard to keep the big fella quiet for long. His second home run of the day, and he's now got 5 RBIs on the young season. And Maxwell swings through another one, 0-2. And again, great pull power from Malik Williams, but he got that ball out over the right hand, or the outside part of the plate. He stayed with it and just hit it over the right field wall. He's so strong. And that one was way out over the trees in right field as the Bisons put a 4 spot up. And Maxwell's going to swing through a breaking ball, and it's going to be dropped, but he's going to run to first and be retired for the 2nd out of the inning. So Rudy down on strikes. That'll bring up John Shields. We mentioned earlier that he had a 2-run homer back in the 4th. He's also reached on a walk, and he's popped out. So 1 for 2 on the day. Shields getting his first action of the season after missing all of last season with injury, so good to see John back in the lineup. 2 outs, bases empty, bottom of the 6th inning, and Lipscomb has opened up an 11-3 lead over Akron. And that's hammered down the right field line. That's going to get in the corner. Schellenbarger's going to go over towards it. He's going to cut it off on the warning track. Shields is going to cruise into second with a stand-up double. And John Shields has another base hit. Fourth hit of the inning for the Bisons. Second hit of the day was Shields, and he really turned on that one and hammered that fastball. So Shields swinging the hot bat here. And that'll bring David Coppage to the plate. Coppage is going to get his first at-bat on the day. He played in yesterday's game and was hitless in 4 trips to the plate. So he is still looking for his first hit as a Bison. Transfer from the University of Virginia, and he looks at a breaking ball down in the dirt. Horvath keeps it in front of him. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. Coppage came in as a defensive replacement in the top of the 6th inning. Came in for Cam McMillan, who had started at second today. So the redshirt freshman faces off against Brady Biglin. And another breaking ball down in the dirt. 2 balls, no strikes. Shields, your runner at second. Borum waits on deck. He started this inning off, and so the Bisons have batted around here in the 6th inning, as they've had 5 runs across the plate on 4 hits and 1 error. Here comes the 2-0 pitch, and he swings through that one, strike 1. Took a big hack at that one, and didn't catch up with it. So 13 hits now on the day for the Bisons. They've outhit the Zips 13-6. Again, a lot of those have been extra base hits that have done some damage for the Bisons today. Here comes the 2-1 pitch to Coppage. Swung through that one again. He's working him inside on the fist, and he hasn't caught up to it, so it's 2-2. 2 outs, runner at second, as we play here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Runner going, and he swings and taps it foul. So I think Shields did that on his own. He saw that no one was paying attention to him. It was a 2-2 pitch, and thought he could get a good jump, so he took off. Gave himself a few extra steps in case there was a base hit. So we'll do it again at 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And Biglin gets ready to deliver to Coppage. And he swung through it for strike 3. But it's a big inning for the Bisons. They wind up plating 5 runs on 4 hits. There's 1 error. They left 1 man on base. We've completed 6 full innings in Nashville. Your new score, Lipscomb 11 and Akron 3. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the 7th inning. Lipscomb leading Akron 11-3. 11 runs, 13 hits, 1 error for the Bisons. 3 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors for the Zips. And Jackson Haas, the DH, will lead off here in the top of the 7th inning. Matthew Bonnert back out for his 2nd inning of work. He had 1 walk, 1 strikeout in the 6th as he came on in relief. Logan Van Treek started. Chandler Giles came on in the 4th. And the 3rd arm of the day is Matthew Bonnert, and he'll face Jackson Haas, Jerry Reinert, and Andrew Horvath as the 3 scheduled here in the 7th inning. We're glad you're with us here. Saturday afternoon getting college baseball season started. That's a fastball that's going to stay high for ball one. We mentioned yesterday the Akron Zips, one of the unique nicknames in all of college sports. As I understand it, they were first nicknamed the Zippers back in 1926 by a vote of the student body. That stays outside ball two. Apparently that was a nod toward a particular style of shoe that was manufactured in the Akron area. And they were known as the Zippers up until the 1950s when that was shortened to the Zips. So a historic local nickname for the University of Akron. That's 2 balls and 1 strike to Jackson Haas. And swung on and hit foul on the right side. I think that's going to make the seats, even though it's given chase by Lundgren. Oh, he reaches over the wall, but he can't make the grab. It came back towards him, and he was reaching over the wall, but he was unable to hang on to it. So it'll go down as strike 2 for Jackson Haas. Designated hitter had a big day yesterday. He was 3 for 3 and also on base with a hit by pitch. The Bisons couldn't keep him off the bases yesterday. Today he's been hit by the pitch again. He struck out swinging. He grounded out in front of the plate in his last at-bat. So 2 balls, 2 strikes with nobody out and the bases empty here. Swung on and hammered down the left field line. That's going to get down and get all the way to the corner for at least a double. Borum is giving chase. It stays up against the wall, and Haas is going to cruise into second base. And once again, good hitter. You knew he was going to get his swings eventually there because he has really come out hot to start this season, has Jackson Haas. So he has a leadoff double, and that'll bring up Jerry Reinhardt, the third baseman. Reinhardt has had a tough day so far. He struck out 3 times. That's after going 1 for 5 yesterday with a couple of strikeouts. So Reinhardt bats now with a runner at second and nobody out. Nice piece of hitting there by Haas. He really hammered that one down the line as he turned on that. And that's a breaking ball that's going to catch the inside corner for ball 1 against Jerry Reinhardt. Shadows creeping across. You can see they're pretty much covering most of the front side of the infield. Pitcher's still a little bit in the sunshine here. Lights are on at Dugan Field. And there's another breaking ball in there for a strike. So 2 straight curveballs, and Reinhardt's in an 0-2 count. Horvath waits on deck. Got another interesting tidbit of trivia for those of you that like baseball trivia. One of the former coaches of Akron baseball is a man by the name of John Heisman. We'll tell you about him in a moment. Here comes the 0-2, stays high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that name, John Heisman, probably sounds familiar to you, but for another reason. If you follow football, he is indeed the same gentleman for whom the famed Heisman Trophy is named. And obviously, he made much of his career as a coach in football, but back in 1894, he was the baseball coach as well at the University of Akron. So, and strike 3 call, got him on the inside fastball there. Excellent sequence from Matthew Bonner. That's going to be his second strikeout of the day and the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the catcher Andrew Horvath. Horvath was a strikeout victim in the second. He grounded out to the first baseman in the 4th, and then he singled back in the 5th. So he's 1 for 3 on the day. So there's some University of Akron trivia for you that John Heisman, one of the former coaches of this program, hit on the ground towards third. It's foul, and that'll be 1 strike on Horvath. And, of course, former big leaguer Chris Sabo, now in his 3rd season as skipper of the Akron program. The program was actually shut down after the 2015 season, was dormant up until 2020 when they came back. And so Coach Sabo now in the process of building this program. Got a nice on-campus stadium that's been refurbished, and they also play some home games at the home of the Akron Rubber Ducks, a minor league affiliate of the Cleveland Indians that's located. So they've got a nice 9,000-seat stadium in town. That's fastball in the outside corner, 0-2 to Horvath. So the Zips can play some of their home games at that fine ballpark as they share with the Akron Rubber Ducks as in addition to their on-campus stadium. No balls and 2 strikes. Runner on at second and 1 out, and another curveball got him swinging. So nice breaking ball there from Matthew Bonner, and that's 2 quick outs in the inning after the leadoff double. That'll be the 3rd strikeout in 2 innings of work for Bonner, and that'll bring up Zach Granger, the left fielder. Granger's got a single, a double, and a walk. He's been on base 3 times and has really been a thorn in the side of the Bisons today after a 1 for 4 day with a double yesterday. So he's off to an excellent start to the season for the senior Zach Granger, and he swings and fouls that one straight back. No balls and 1 strike. Granger out of Elmira, New York. A senior, 6'2", 215 pounds. He's been at Lackawanna College previously. Played in 2020 for the Zips. And then did not play last season, so there may have been an injury involved there. It looks like that one nicked Rudy Maxwell and got a piece of him. Trainer Clint Woods is out to check on him. And we know how those trainers, or correction, those catchers take a lot of punishment back there. Always a tough position to play, so Rudy's going to take a moment and shake this one out. And while he does, we'll take the opportunity to get a scoreboard update. They've gone final over at Belmont. They've beaten Toledo 7-2. Tennessee Martin has come back to take a 5-4 lead over Miami of Ohio in the 7th inning. There's a second game between Belmont and Toledo, and Belmont's leading Toledo 4-0 in the top of the 3rd. We mentioned that New Jersey Tech defeated Bellarmine earlier 9-3. Kennesaw State has beaten Morehead State 4-0. Missouri State beat Central Arkansas 11-2 in 10 innings. Cincinnati and Florida Gulf Coast in a wild game here, 14-10 in the bottom of the 9th inning. The Florida Gulf Coast batting one more time to try to pull that one out. That's been a back and forth battle. Mercer has beaten Eastern Kentucky 13-2. North Florida has beaten Presbyterian 8-5. And Jacksonville leads High Point 13-9 in the top of the 8th. Situation here is no balls and 1 strike, 2 outs, runner at second base, and that's going to bounce up there, and poor Rudy's going to take another body blow there. It'll be a ball and a strike. He will need some of the Advil or the Motrin tonight, so I'm sure some of his family are in the park here and already making plans to help him out with that. That one stays high, and it'll be 2 balls and 1 strike to Zach Granger, the left fielder. Notre Dame is leading Stetson 5-1 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Kentucky leading Jacksonville State 4-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. Swung on and tapped foul. And we may actually have a pinch hitter up there. That appears to be number 16, Ian Pennington. So I apologize for not noting that previously. We did not see that substitution made, but that looks like Ian Pennington. Who is coming on here in the top of the 7th inning. So it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count, 2 outs, runner at second base. Lipscomb leading 11-3, and that's a breaking ball, just missed. And the count has gone full. Pennington is a freshman. He's from Springsboro, Ohio, 6'3", 200-pound outfielder. So he's seeing his first collegiate at bat now, and he's taking it all the way full. 3 balls, 2 strikes as Matthew Bonner tries to get out of this with no further damage. And here comes the payoff pitch. Swung on and fouled away again. So Pennington is stretching out that first collegiate at bat. Doing a good job fighting off and staying alive with 2 strikes. Drosty would be next if Pennington's able to keep the inning alive here. And we await the 3-2 pitch from Matthew Bonnert. Swung and a miss, strike 3. So 3 strikeouts in the inning for Bonnert after he surrendered the leadoff double. And that's 4 strikeouts total in 2 innings of work for Matthew Bonnert. So nothing doing for the Zips here after the leadoff double. They've stranded a total of 11 runners here, and we head to the bottom half of the 7th inning. At our 7th inning stretch, your score, Lipscomb 11 and Akron 3. You're watching Lipscomb Bison's Baseball on YouTube Live. Seventh inning stretch is done. We enter the home half of the seventh. Lipscomb 11 runs, 13 hits, 1 error. 3 runs, 7 hits, and 2 errors for Akron. And Brady Biglin is back out for his 3rd inning of work. He's on a relief of Tate Heidinger, who worked the first 4 innings. Heidinger gave up 8 hits and 6 runs, 5 earned. Biglin in 2 innings has given up 5 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned. No walks and 2 strikeouts. Only 2 walks on the day through 6 innings for Akron pitching. And starting it out for the Bisons will be Tiger Borum. Borum led off the bottom of the 6th for the Bisons. It turned into a big inning for them. He takes a breaking ball high, ball 1. Led off that inning reaching on an error on a bunt that he put down. He's also grounded out, and he's tripled on the day. So 1 for 3 for Tiger Borum, following up after 0 for 2 start yesterday. And that one's just off the plate, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Ketchup waits on deck. And then back to the top of the order, and Maddox Houghton. Again, same 2 teams here tomorrow at 1 p.m. Game 3 of this 3-game series to open the college baseball season. It's great to see college baseball back, and excited to watch the Bisons move through this season. That one's going to be on the outside corner for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. We'll have all the home games either here on YouTube Live or on ESPN Plus. Check out the Bison's website, lipscombsports.com, to see what the listings are for each broadcast. But we'll have each home broadcast for you right here. And that one's going to stay high, and it'll be 3 balls and 1 strike on Tiger Borum. A little bit of activity down in the Akron bullpen. Again, difficult to get a number from our vantage point, but we do see someone throwing down there. There's also a little bit of activity in the Bison's bullpen. Looks like Hayden Frank, the freshman left-hander, might be throwing some. And here comes the 3-1 pitch, hammered towards right field. It's going to be off the glove of Hara, but I think that's going to be a base hit for Borum. That was hit really sharply. I think that would have been a very, very tough chance. Hara just barely got it on the glove, and so that is indeed scored a base hit. It'll be the Bison's 14th hit of the day. Second hit of the day for Tiger Borum, and it brings up Caleb Ketchup, who's also had an excellent day. He's had a single, a double, and thrown out on a fielder's choice. So 2 for 3 on the day for Ketchup. 14 hits on the day for the Bisons after only having 8 yesterday. So I know Coach Forehand and the staff will be pleased with that. Ketchup off to a good start on the season. He's 2 for 5 now. Swung on and hit foul and out of play. 0-1. Top of the order, Maddox Houghton waits on deck. Again, Akron will be on the road heading to the University of Georgia next weekend, and that's a trip the Bisons will be making in a couple of weekends. I believe the second weekend of March, Lipscomb will go back for a return visit there. That's hit on the ground towards short. Benson's up with it, flips to second for 1, and no throw to first as Ketchup runs well. So Borum is forced out at second, but Ketchup will reach courtesy of the fielder's choice, 6-4. So back to the top of the order in Maddox Houghton. Houghton has had a couple of base hits. He's also flown out to the left and had a sacrifice bunt. So he's 2 for 3 on the day. 3 for 6 on the season with 3 RBI. So a great start for the Bison's fine 5th-year senior center fielder, Maddox Houghton. Bats now with 1 out and a runner on first. Lipscomb leading 11-3 in the bottom of the 7th. That's a fastball that stays inside for ball 1. Again, good crowd on hand here today. We invite you to come out tomorrow if you're in the area. Everyone's sort of moving and following the sunshine here. We've had a migration from some of the seating areas back towards the upper part of the stands. That's going to get away from first baseman Drosty, but not far enough for Ketchup to advance. As he got a piece of it and kept it in front of him. And actually, looks like that may be Michael Sprocket playing over at first base now per the numbers that are on our roster here. So we'll double check that. Some substitutions coming in defensively. Swung through that one for a strike. Got number 34 listed as Michael Sprocket, a freshman on our roster. And that's the number of the young man who's defending over at first base right now. So we're going to call him that until further notice. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Ketchup running at first. He's running and swung through foul down into the left field corner. The count will go to a ball and 2 strikes on Maddox Houghton. Finishing out our scoreboard we started earlier, Liberty's leading 9th-ranked Florida 4-2 in the bottom of the 4th. St. John's has defeated Middle Tennessee 6-5. Boston College leads Austin Peay 9-8 in the top of the 9th, and Tennessee has defeated Georgia Southern 10-3. He's not going. That's a breaking ball outside. Nice play by Horvath to keep that in front of him. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Catch up your runner at first. Maddox Houghton, the leadoff hitter, is batting, and Mason Lundgren waits on deck. As Brady Bigland, the second hurler today for the Zips. And he gets ready to deal to Houghton. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. That hit him. So Houghton reaches on the hit by pitch, and that will advance Ketchup down to second base. And to the plate will come Mason Lundgren. Lundgren was a strikeout victim in the first, singled back in the third, reached on a fielder's choice in the fourth, and then singled in the sixth. So he's got a couple of base hits on the day. His first base, or actually 3 base hits now on the season. 3 hits and 7 trips officially, and 3 RBIs for the 2-hole hitter for the Bisons, Mason Lundgren. He's got another RBI today, and that's going to stay outside for ball 1, just missed off the corner. Bigland working in his 3rd inning, but only thrown 37 pitches. Again, good speed on the bases with Ketchup at second and Houghton at first. And shortstop Benson is really trying to disrupt Ketchup, who continues to be active. A little cat and mouse, and he's now running, and that's swung on and fouled back. So both runners took off. The Bisons continue to be aggressive on the base paths here. We've seen those runners at second base getting some aggressive leads and forcing the action there. I don't know if that was an official hit and run or just Lundgren saw a pitch that he liked, but he sliced it foul, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, you don't often see a base runner heading from second with a left-handed hitter up there, since the catcher has a somewhat unobstructed throw, but the third baseman Reinhardt is a pretty good ways off the bag, and you're going to get an inside move there from Bigland to try to cut down a bit on that lead that Ketchup has at second base. First baseman Sprocket playing behind Houghton at first. Again, Ketchup is extending that lead, and it's off the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike. So big gap between second base and third base, since Benson is pulled over up almost straight up the middle behind the base runner. Runner's not going, and that's hit into center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. They're going to send Ketchup. Here comes the throw. It's going to be cut off, and he's going to score the Bison's 12th run of the day. RBI base hit for Mason Lundgren. So Mason Lundgren comes through with another RBI. It's his 2nd RBI on the day, and the Bisons have extended their lead to 12-3, and they've got runners on the corners now with 1 out, and Trace Wilhoit is up. Wilhoit has grounded out, flown out, reached on a walk into singled, and scored a run on the day. Just picked up his first Bison's base hit in his last at-bat back in the 6th inning, so sure he's glad to have that one behind him. And that one catches the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. So again, good speed shown there. Ketchup never really hesitated. Coach Forehand sent him, and he was going to get in easily. And Houghton, with good speed, goes first to third on that base hit to center field with 1 out. That's going to be on the outside corner as well. Good position for that pitch, 0-2. So 2 excellent pitches executed in a row by Bigland here, getting his first work on the season as well. So he's got Wilhoit in a 0-2 hole. Lundgren, your runner at first. Houghton running at third. And he's running from first. And that's a check swing. And first base umpire Jordan Farrell says, yes, he did go. So that's going to be a swinging strikeout of Wilhoit for the 2nd out of the inning. Lundgren will advance to 2nd. And so now 2nd and 3rd. And here comes that man, Malik Williams. Last time we saw him in the last inning, he hit a grand slam over the right field wall to put this one out of reach as Lipscomb jumped out to the big lead that they continue to hold 12-3 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And so Malik Williams bats now 2 outs, runners on second and third, and that's hammered towards center field. It's going to come shallow off the bat though, and coming in and making the grab is a Revo. So they'll retire Malik Williams on that fly ball to center field. But the Bisons do tack on another run courtesy of 2 hits. They strand 2 more runners. They've stranded a total of 7 on the day. And we head to the 8th inning. Your score, Lipscomb 12 and Akron 3. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the top of the 8th inning. Your score, Lipscomb 12, Akron 3. New hurler on the mound for the Bisons. 4th arm of the day, the freshman left-hander Hayden Frank. Freshman out of Riceville, Tennessee, 6'5", 186 pounds. He prepped at McMinn County High School. And he's about to get his very first collegiate action here as he comes on in the top of the 8th inning with the Bisons up 13-2. And he's going to face 9-1-2, and it'll be Michael Sprocket, who came in the last inning as a defensive replacement at first base. He looks at a ball inside, 1-0. So Sprocket, I believe, is a true freshman, should be getting his first at-bat here. And he swings through that one, and that evens the count at a ball and a strike. So Hayden Frank, again, McMinn County High School, 3-time perfect game All-American. And that's hit on the ground toward first. It's going to be gloved by Lundgren. He's going to flip to Frank covering, and that's going to be for an out. So Hayden Frank gets a ground out, 3-1 on that put out. Nice play on both ends of that by both Lundgren and Frank, who got over to cover. And that'll retire Sprocket for the first out of the inning. Take us back to the top of the order, and Cato Hara, the leadoff man, who's had a busy day. Struck out in the first, walked in the third, struck out in the fourth, and grounded out in the sixth. Though Hara bats against Hayden Frank here. Coach Forehand, Coach Myers high on this young man. Very, very excited about his future. He's a high-velocity guy, throws in the low 90s from that left-hand side. He's pitched very well this spring. Also has a good curveball and changeup to go with that fastball. Just needs to get some experience. So good opportunity to do that here today. And that's a strike through there on a breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Frank on as the 4th Lipscomb pitcher of the day. We'll we'll give you that recap here in just a moment. First, the 1-1 pitch to Hara. And that's another breaking ball in there for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Logan Van Treek started, went 3 1/3. Chandler Giles relieved for 1 2/3. And then Matthew Bonnard had 2 excellent innings, scoreless relief. And now Hayden Frank is on to pitch the 8th inning for the Bisons. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball stays outside, and you see that live fastball with some arm side run there from Hayden Frank. Good-looking freshman left-hander getting his very first collegiate action here for the Bisons today in the 8th inning as Lipscomb leads Akron 13-2. Swung on and hit foul off to the right side. That's going to get out of play. That'll keep the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Shadows over all the infield now. A little bit of sunshine still out in left field, a little bit in center field. But as we mentioned, the lights are on here, and it'll start to get cold very quickly here. The temperature is dropping. That's hammered down the third base line. It's going to be foul, or fair, rather. It's over the diving Wilhoit. It's going to get down towards the corner. Hara runs well, and he'll easily get into second base with a stand-up double. And so Hara has his first base hit of the day after going 3 for 3 in yesterday's affair. Good piece of hitting there, and he'll be at second base with 1 out. That'll be the 8th base hit on the day for the Zips. And that'll bring Cameron Benson to the plate. Shortstop has popped out, singled, walked, and struck out on the day. Three hits and 8 trips so far on the season, so he's off to an excellent start for the freshman Cameron Benson. Frank starts him off with a breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. 12 runs, 15 hits, 1 error for Lipscomb. 3 runs, 8 hits, and 2 errors for the Zips. And one thing you do see now that Lipscomb does is they'll use that card when they have a runner on second base. The signs are relayed in from the dugout to the pitchers who have the card. They either wear on their arm or their belt. So you see Hayden Frank looking for a numerical sign, then looking down to interpret that. That's hit on the ground again to first. It's off the glove of Lundgren. It's going to go out into right field, and Hara's going to swing around to score. So that ball was hit really hard. We'll see how they score it. Lundgren was going backwards, fell backwards, and it kicked off the top of his glove. And that'll narrow the gap to 12-4. Still waiting on an official scoring of that play. And they're going to give him a base hit. So base hit on that for Cameron Benson, and coming around to score Kato Hara. So that's 2 base hits in the inning, and now Nick Arrivo, the center fielder, will stand in there. Arrivo has flown out, struck out, singled, and reached on a walk in his 4 trips today. And he hits that into left field. It's sinking, and it's going to land in front of Tiger Borum. And that'll cause Benson to need to hold up at second base. So Arrivo with another base hit. And the Zips are making some noise here in the 8th inning. They've got 3 hits in the inning now and pushed 1 run across. 10 hits on the day. And again, tip your cap to this club. They just keep fighting and keep fighting. They had 11 hits yesterday. They've already got 10 today. And so you're seeing a lot of fight out of Coach Chris Sabo's club. Probably not a surprise. He was certainly a battling, gritty player when he played, and I'm not surprised that his team plays with that same tenacity here. Ryan Schellenbarger stands in there. Schellenbarger looks at a pitch downstairs. It'll be 1 ball, no strikes. Hayden Frank on for his first collegiate action. He got a ground out to start the inning, and then he's given up 3 base hits back-to-back, a double, a single, and a single. And so Schellenbarger stands in there now with runners on first and second and 1 out. And that's hit in the air softly towards center field. Going back is Ketchup, coming in is Houghton, and Ketchup is going to catch it in shallow center field for the second out of the inning. So a soft liner that was hit out behind second base, and so that'll bring up 2 outs, and Jackson Haas, the designated hitter, will come to the plate. And Haas doubled in his last at bat. He's also grounded out and struck out. But off to a great start of the season. 4 for 6 on the season so far, with a 1 for 3 today to go with his 3 for 3 day yesterday. So Jackson Haas off to a red hot start for the Zips, and he looks at a breaking ball that stays downstairs for ball 1. Jerry Reinhardt would be next on deck for the Zips if Haas can extend this inning. And again, Haas, a really good looking hitter, a senior, in the lineup as designated hitter today after being the catcher in yesterday's activity. is out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Here comes the 1-0. That's going to miss inside. It'll be 2 balls and no strikes to Jackson Haas. Hayden Frank, the freshman left-hander, out for his very first collegiate action here. And always a thrill. You got to know that that's something that none of these youngsters ever forget. The first day they put on the collegiate uniform and stand on the field. Here comes the 2-0 pitch, and that's hammered down the left field line, but foul. He turned on that fastball and hit it off the facing of the bullpen, so that'll make a 2-1 count on Jackson Haas. And Frank probably caught more of the plate than he wanted to there. Got some activity down in the Bison's bullpen. It looks like freshman right-hander Will Newell is warming up. So Coach Matt Myers using these late inning situations to get some freshmen some work. He had Tyler Legier close yesterday, and he's got Hayden Frank out there right now, and that missed just off the plate. 3 balls, 1 strike. That was that fastball with a little arm side run. So Frank's in danger of loading the bases here with 2 outs. And I'm sure they want to pitch carefully to Haas because he has really shown the ability to handle the bat here this weekend. Here comes the 3-1 from Frank to Haas. Swung on and tapped towards shortstop. Ketchup comes up, throws on the run, goes to first, and makes the play. So nice play on the move there by Caleb Ketchup to end the inning and strand 2 more runners. But the Zips do pick up 1 run. They had 3 hits in the inning. There were no Bison's errors. And we head to the home half of the 8th. Your new score, Lipscomb 12 and Akron 4. You're watching Lipscomb Bison's Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Lipscomb leading Akron 12-4. New pitcher on the mound for the Zips, the senior right-hander Jackson Hickert, a 6'3", 225-pounder out of Hudson, Ohio. Previously played at Ventura College. And it was noted when he came out of junior college, he was the number 188 junior college prospect in the country and was the highest rated of anyone who came to the Mid-American Conference. He played as a redshirt junior in 2020, 5 games and 1 start for the Zips in the COVID-shortened season. Had the best ERA on the team at 3.18, 17 innings with 13 strikeouts and 9 walks. Did not play last season, so you got to think there might have been an injury involved with that. So he's out for his first action of the season, and he'll face Chaz Bertolani. Bertolani came on as a replacement for Rudy Maxwell in the top of the 8th inning, and Chaz will get his first at-bat of the day today. Played and started in yesterday's game at catcher, was 2 for 3 and scored a run. And he looks at a fastball that stays high. It'll be 1 ball, no strikes on Bertolani. So Bertolani, Shields, and Coppage are due up here in the bottom half of the 8th inning for the Bisons, who lead 12-4. And that's hit right back up the middle. Second baseman Hara can't get there, and so Chaz Bertolani comes in and has himself a base hit. And that's the 15th base hit of the day for the Bisons. And we're also going to have a pinch hitter here. Pinch hitting for Shields is going to be number 23, Ethan Stamps. So Stamps, the sophomore who played infield last year and some work for the Bisons, is going to come on and hit for John Shields. So Bertolani is your runner at first base. And again, Jackson Hickert, rather, on in relief. Third pitcher of the day for the Zips. They started with Tate Heidinger. Fifth inning was relieved by Brady Biglin, and now Jackson Hickert is on. And Stamps looks at a fastball down. 1 ball and no strikes. Stamps last year as a freshman hit .259. He played in 25 games, started 22 of them. No home runs and 6 RBIs on the season. So getting his first swings of the 2022 campaign here. And that's fouled out of play. That'll make the count 1 ball and 1 strike. So 26 hits on the day, a lot of offense between these two clubs, which again, a little bit unusual, I would say, for opening weekend, given that often the hitters are a little behind the pitchers early in the season. They can't get out and get as many live at-bats, and so pitchers seem to have the upper hand. But both clubs have swung the bat really well this weekend. They combined for 19 hits yesterday and 26 hits today. So if you like offensive baseball, you've seen a lot of it here in the last 2 days. And that's going to be a breaking ball that stays high, and it'll be 2 balls and 1 strike to Ethan Stamps. David Coppage waits on deck. Again, same 2 teams here tomorrow. Rubber game of this series at 1 p.m. And Hickert taking a while now to get his sign. He's got what he likes now, and it's a 2-1 pitch due to Stamps. That's going to get off the glove of Horvath and allow Bertolani to jog down to second base. They might have been crossed up in their signs there or not. Looks like a little conversation going on there. Sometimes that can happen with a new pitcher coming in later in the game situation. And nonetheless, 3 ball, 1 strike count on Ethan Stamps. Bertolani, your runner at second, and Coppage on deck for the Bisons, who lead 12-4, bottom of the 8th inning. Second game of this series after the Bisons took the Friday contest 9-4. 3-1, and he swung on, took a big hack, and fouled it back to the screen. Stamps got all of his swing on that one. He put a big swing on it. So let it run the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out here, and Bertolani running at second base. And Hickert gets ready to deal to Stamps. And he gets him, strike 3. Good pitch on the outside corner, called strike 3. Good location there, and so Hickert has his first strikeout of the day, and that'll bring up David Coppage. Coppage came in back in the 6th inning as a defensive replacement. He struck out swinging in his only at-bat on the day, and he's still looking for his first Bison's hit after he went 0 for 4 in yesterday's game. So Coppage, the transfer from University of Virginia, so playing his freshman campaign here. And fastball over the outside corner, no balls and 1 strike. Again, we mentioned yesterday that the ASUN is now up to 12 teams in the conference. They've divided into an East and West division, and this year the Bisons will be in that West division along with a number of newcomers that we'll tell you about in a moment. First, the 0-1 pitch to Coppage. Swung on and hit towards center field. Arrivo's going to take a couple steps back. Tagging at second is Bertolani. He's going to tag, and he's going to advance all the way to third. So Coppage is retired on a fly ball, but Bertolani will move up 90 feet to third base. And batting with 2 outs is going to be a pinch hitter here. This is going to be August Haymaker, who's going to come in and get an at-bat. So August Haymaker will stand in there. Haymaker is a junior, 5'11", 196-pounder out of Orlando, Florida, and St. John's River Community College. played in 11 games last year, started 5 of them, only had 15 at-bats, and so he's getting his first swings of the 2022 campaign here. 2 outs and a runner at third. Swings through a fastball, strike 1. So as we mentioned, the ASUN divided into 2 divisions, East and West. In the West with Lipscomb are Central Arkansas, Bellarmine, Eastern Kentucky, Jacksonville State, and North Alabama. And the Bisons will play home and away series with those other 5 teams to make up their 30-game conference schedule on the 2022 campaign. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's also a strike in there, nothing in 2. That means the Eastern Division will be Kennesaw State, Jacksonville, Stetson, Florida Gulf Coast, Liberty, and North Florida. They'll also play a similar round-robin home and away. So all of the new members of the ASUN this year, which is Central Arkansas, Eastern Kentucky, and Jacksonville, they're all on the west side with Lipscomb. So a lot of new opponents the Bisons haven't seen before that they'll see during conference play this year. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Haymaker, and he swings through that for strike 3. So a good inning in relief by Jackson Hickert, who seems to have some family on hand here, giving him a nice ovation. The Bison strand another base runner. That's 8 they've stranded on the day, but we're going to head to the 9th inning, and the Bisons have a big lead, 12-4. The Zips will come up for their last swings of the day, and we'll be right back after this break. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the top half of the 9th inning. Lipscomb leading Akron 12-4. A number of changes for the Bisons. Starting on the mound, making his Bisons debut is freshman right-hander Will Newell. Newell, a big 6'7", 230-pound true freshman out of Tallahassee, Florida. Played at Leon High School. It's a perfect game All-American there. And he comes in to get his very first action as a member of the Bisons, first collegiate action. A couple of other changes. Hayden Skipper is now playing in right field, and August Haymaker stays in the game to play left field. So the outfield now is Haymaker in left, Houghton in center, Skipper in right. Will Hoyt still at third base, Ketchup at short, Coppage at second, Lundgren over at first base, Chaz Bertolani behind the plate, and Hayden Frank, or correction, Will Newell getting his debut on the mound. Hayden Frank pitched the 8th inning and gave up 1 run in that inning. So here goes Will Newell, and his first pitch is right through there for a strike. 0-1. This is Jerry Reinhardt batting, and Reinhardt's had a busy day with 4 strikeouts. And so he'd like to get untracked. He was 1 for 5 in yesterday's game. Swings through an off-speed pitch there, and quickly Newell gets ahead, 0-2. So 5th pitcher of the day for the Bisons, Will Newell. Logan Van Treek started. He was followed by Chandler Giles, Matthew Bonnert, Hayden Frank, and Will Newell. So a couple of freshmen making their debuts here on the mound this afternoon in this 12-4 Bison's lead in the 9th inning. Here comes the 0-2. Swung on and hit high in the air back toward the screen. Bertolani's got the mask off. He's looking at it. He looks up, gloves it, and it's the first out of the inning. So Will Newell gets his first collegiate out, courtesy of a little help from his friends, with Jazz Bertolani making the grab there, and that'll bring up Andrew Horvath. Horvath on the day has struck out, grounded out, singled, and struck out. So 1 hit and 4 trips, and he starts him off with a strike. So Newell doing a good job coming in and pounding the zone, which is what you want to see with this big lead. Hard throwing right-hander out of Florida, as we mentioned. That's fouled off to the right side, and he gets ahead 0-2. Coach Forehand mentioned he's been slowed a little bit by a foot injury this spring, but he's a guy that can run it up there 90 miles an hour, has a good changeup as well. So getting his first action is freshman Will Newell, and he's got Andrew Horvath down a no-ball, 2-strike count. And throws a breaking ball that stays inside, and that'll be 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, same 2 teams tomorrow, 1 p.m. It's going to be warmer, expecting sunshine. So if you're in the area, please come out to the ballpark and join us for what should be another outstanding day of baseball between these 2 teams. They've played 2 exciting games. Again, 26 hits today, following up on 19 hits yesterday. So a lot of action on the field. Here's the 1-2, swung on and hit into center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. And so Horvath will collect his second base hit of the day, and the 11th of the day for the Zips. And so that'll bring Ian Pennington to the plate. Pennington was a substitution, came in the game in the 7th inning. He struck out swinging, and he'll get his second at bat here with a runner on at first and 1 out. And breaking ball in there for a strike, 0-1. So Newell doing a good job getting ahead here on these hitters. No ball, 1 strike pitch is on the way, and he swings through an off-speed pitch there, 0-2. Pennington, a true freshman out of Springsboro, Ohio, 6'3", 200-pounder. Getting some of his first collegiate action today. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And called strike 3. Executed a great pitch there. Newell, off-speed pitch again on the outside corner, and he gets a called strikeout for the second out of the inning, and the Zips are down to their last out, and that's going to be in the person of Michael Sprocket, another freshman who came on and grounded out to first baseman Mason Lundgren back in the last inning, and he's batting out with 2 outs and a runner on at first. And missing low is Newell for 1 ball and no strikes. So down to the last swings here for the Zips. Took something off there and had him way in front, 1-1. So that's that changeup that we heard about. Certainly very effective with Newell as a hard thrower. Pulls the string on that one. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, runner at first. Top of the 9th, Lipscomb leading 12-4. Another changeup there, had him way in front, 1-2. So when Newell can combine that with that hard fastball, really, really effective. A hard thrower with that kind of variety on those pitches. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And Newell gets ready to deal to Sprocket. That was an off-speed pitch that stayed outside. It'll even the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lundgren is going to move behind the runner at first, sort of concede a lead there with a 2 ball, 2 strike, 2 out count. He does not take off, and he swings and misses strike 3. Second strikeout of the inning. And you can wrap this one in purple and gold. Lipscomb Bisons have defeated the Akron Zips today by a score of 12-4. Our final line score in the game, 12 runs, 16 hits, and 1 error for the Bisons. 4 runs, 11 hits, and 2 errors for the Zips. And you might see going out on the field some gold balloons now, and they have the number 600. That's because that victory for the Bisons is the 600th collegiate win for Coach Jeff Forehand. So Coach Jeff Forehand, congratulations. He just collected his 600th collegiate victory, and that is a big milestone for the Bison skipper, who's been here for 16 seasons. Of course, prior to that, he was at Goodpasture High School and then at Trevecca Nazarene University. But 600 wins for Coach Jeff Forehand. 19 seasons, or correction, 21 seasons overall. And they're going to celebrate Coach Forehand today with that big 600th win, because that is a great milestone for a guy that's been at it a long time. And you have to congratulate him. He gets the Gatorade bath. He's going to be chilly tonight, but, you know, that's one that I'm sure he won't mind. He got Malik Williams, I believe, that dunked him there. And players are embracing him out on the field. Again, a really big moment for the Bisons as they circle around their 16th-year head coach, number 3, Jeff Forehand. It's a special moment for Coach Forehand, a special moment for the program, and certainly one worth celebrating. I know that he's always pleased to get a win, but that's quite a milestone, and I know that he'll focus on the players, but you got to admire a guy that's been at it, done it with as much class and dignity as he's done it for a long time, and 600 career victories is certainly something to be proud of. So congrats to Coach Forehand, to the entire Bison staff. Another big win today and a 2-0 start to the season. Winning pitcher for today will be, winning pitcher today for the Bisons will be Logan Van Treek, it appears. They've given him the win. Actually, correction, Chandler Giles will get the win on today's game. Taking the loss will be Tade Heidinger. Our time of the game is 3 hours and 5 minutes. And we'll give you a brief recap on the game. The Bisons started things off on the scoring column in the bottom of the 2nd inning. As Malik Williams reached on an error, there were base hits from Maxwell and a sacrifice fly off the bat of Cam McMillan. The Zips fought back in the 3rd inning, though. They put up a couple runs of their own. They had a single from Zach Granger, and a walk moved a runner around for a single for Cameron Benson. And the Zips had scored 2 and taken a 2-1 lead. The Bisons fought right back in the bottom of the 3rd inning. They scored another run on their own. There was a leadoff base hit from Caleb Ketchup. He was sacrificed over by Maddox Houghton, and then Mason Lundgren with an RBI base hit, and it was a 2-2 ball game going into the 4th. Akron retook the lead with a single run in the 4th. Again, a couple of walks in the inning and a single that plated 1 run, but a pitching change for the Bisons. Chandler Giles came in and shut it down and left the bases stranded to make the score 3-2. And then the Bisons had a big inning in the bottom of the 4th. 4 runs came across. It started with a double off the bat of Rudy Maxwell. John Shields hit a 2-run home run. Tiger Borum hit a triple, a double from Caleb Ketchup, and a single from Maddox Houghton. And those 5 base hits led to 4 runs for the Bisons, and they never looked back from that point. They had another big inning in the 6th inning. That one started again with a base hit from Tiger Borum reached on an error. There was a base hit from Maddox Houghton, from Mason Lundgren, and from Trace Wilhoit. 3 consecutive singles, and then with the bases loaded, big swing from the big fella, Malik Williams with a grand slam home run to break this one open. The Bisons would go on to add another run in the 7th. The Zips would get a single run in the 8th, but this one finished up with a score of 12-4 with the Bisons taking the win. So game 3 tomorrow. That'll be the next action for Lipscomb baseball. Tomorrow on Sunday, the Bisons will again take on the University of Akron Zips. The first pitch is at 1 p.m. Central Time. That will also be our next broadcast. Again, tomorrow, 1 p.m. Central Time. You can catch us here on YouTube Live. Our special thanks to Lipscomb Athletic Director Philip Hutchison, Associate Athletic Director for External Relations Brett McMillan, the Assistant Athletic Director for Communications, Kirk Downs, and the Assistant Director for Athletic Communications, Hannah Jo Riley. Also want to thank Erica Plunkett for her technical expertise as always, and our entire crew that's brought you this telecast today. So on behalf of our entire crew, this is Doc Allen saying thanks for your time this time, and until next time, so long. You've been watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live.